This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done.
Hello.
What a way to start a Monday,
And
huh?
thank you, Adele, for that beautiful song. Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, November 15th. I'm Tori here with Erica and Al. We're so grateful you're joining us. So did you all see Adele's big concert special last night?
I did.
All right. So dressed in this gorgeous black gown, Adele performed at Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. It was in front of an intimate crowd of the very, very famous. Adele was promoting her new album 30, which is all about her divorce. The night also featured a surprise proposal. A spoiler alert, she said yes. Okay. And check out how shocked she was when the lights came up to reveal Adele, who serenaded the couple. Wow. Adele also sat down with Oprah, and throughout the night we learned some new details about her weight loss, her relationship with her father, and of course more about her divorce from her ex, Simon. So take a look.
It was when I admitted to my own friends who thought I was really happy that actually I'm really unhappy, and they all gasped, like, you know. I feel like it was sort of from there that I was like, what am I doing? The same drive as staying in a relationship, even though you're not happy and you do it for the kids. I think it's as loving as doing that for the kids by leaving and you know, finding your own happiness so that they really know who you are.
Adele also sang few new songs from her album, including the single Easy on Me. Take a look.
I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby.
I mean, what a setting.
What a voice.
The whole thing was just so
mean-
beautifully done.
Right?
I mean, it was exquisite. Like that, the way that people connect with Adele, like her stories being told, like they feel like their stories being told, but just the whole dynamic of the night was just, it was exquisite. I can't come up with a better word than that.
No. And then what did you think about the whole thing?
I mean, I thought I was not excited to watch it. It's Sunday's football, you know? And I think that makes this even more special, the fact that I was like, let me be professional and watch this for work. And after a minute, I was just like, I am just into this. I forgot what her voice does to everyone, including myself, when they hear it. Just the way we started the show. I mean, she's a special once-in-a-generation talent.
Yeah, Beyonce once peeped her head in and said, when I listen to you, I feel like I'm listening to God. And she was like, you don't get over something
Her voice
like
is
that.
special.
Right.
Her voice
This
is
is,
special.
I think, Oprah and Lizzo. We have a shot of them on the side. This is all of us last night. Let's just take a quick look at this video. Oh, man, that was like
How many times has that song been sung at full volume in the car with the windows up?
Yeah, I've already told y'all that when I got my record player, my Adele record was the only one
thing.
that I had, and I played that for months on end, nothing else. So
That's what
I
do.
get it.
She's
I get
on
it.
repeat.
Yes.
She's like on
Very
repeat. I wanted to talk to you a little bit of about her divorce. She said she was embarrassed, and I wanted to ask you about this because her marriage didn't work. She says she loves Simon but wasn't in love with him. What do you think about people out there that are watching right now that also can relate to feeling somewhat embarrassed that it didn't work the way they pictured in their head? What do you think, Erica?
I think people really minimize the idea of you getting married, saying your vows a lot of times in an institution that's rooted in religion and faith in front of everyone that you know and love, and then figuring out later, like, oh, this may not have been the move for me.
Right.
Like, it's not just, okay, I'm going to get a divorce. It's how do I tell my parents?
Yeah.
You know, what is this going to do to our circle, our friendships, our family dynamics?
there's so much that goes involved, like to unpack it. I understand why people wait years and years, or if they never decide to pull the trigger,
Which I think a lot of people
for a
do.
divorce. And it's just something we don't talk about because it's rooted in so much shame and disappointment. And ultimately, I think when people are speaking out about it in the way that Adele is speaking out about it, is so empowering to so many people, because there doesn't have to be a villain. It doesn't have to be, you know, a situation where it was war. You can very much, my ex and I said, hey, why don't we end this before we destroy each other?
Wow.
And that was like the most loving thing that we possibly could have done. And we took those steps together. Everything was taken together in order to dismantle this union.
That's amazing.
This is going to sound like a joke, but how many greeting cards would Hallmark sell with that phrase? Like, let's end this before we destroy each other. I mean, honestly,
I felt that, didn't you?
To just sit there and get that, like, this person is right. And the thing is, Erica, the shame and the reluctance for people to end a marriage is also used as a leverage by the person that wants to take advantage of that relationship and not leave it. Because if I'm being a jerk in our marriage, I know that I know your mom, I know your mom, I know you don't want to go tell them you're divorced, so that gives me even more credence to act
There's
any way I
power.
want, because I know, what are you going to do? Go tell your family you couldn't hack it as a married woman? You be back in these streets in your 30s? And the answer is yes, you should. You should be back in these streets until you find somebody that is deserving of your company. So
I agree.
It's hard, but you need to leave if it's not working.
Well, I also wanted to talk to you, Al. You've been very open about being sober. She says, Adele, she probably kept the alcohol industry alive during the quarantine because she was drinking so much. And I think that is relatable to a lot of us.
Yes.
But what do you think about when she said she's found a different relationship to alcohol? Is that how you see alcohol now, too?
Well, it depends on, it's individualized. So, like, your relationship with anything should be for you, not for the blanket. A lot of people, when they say I stopped drinking, it's for a reason.
Right.
I think you don't come to the point where you say, I'm never going to have another drop of alcohol again, just because you're too lazy to decide. There's a reason that we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
But there have been times where I'm sure the two of you have been like, man, it's been a crazy month. Let me chill out this next month. Most people can, almost like sweets or any other kind of vice, stop or kind of slow down. But for people like myself, I needed to stop. But I do like that Adele is showing people, if you're finding that this is out of control, first just try and control it before we go to complete abstinence. So I think that's
Moderate.
Moderate, it's
Yeah.
okay. And if you find out you can't do it in moderation, ding, 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 then here we go with the club soda.
Yeah, there you go with the clip. And I also wanted to ask about her father. She spoke a lot about her dad. Alcohol took her dad. She said they had sort of an estrangement, but then they came back together when she was singing. What do you think about her relationship with her father influencing her songs and her music? What do you think, Erica?
You know, obviously, the relationship that people have with their parents is going to dictate a lot of things that come down the road for them as we get older. The relationship between a father and a daughter, especially for someone who, in Adele's case, dates men, was married to a man, you do start to emulate things in those relationships, whether you want to or not. Like, there was this old saying that, daughters marry their fathers. Or you marry the antithesis of your father, so to speak, if that relationship was something you are actively trying not to repeat. For me, my dad and I have always had a very interesting relationship, and I've been very honest about that. My father and I are very much the same person when it comes to how we navigate the world, but he wanted me to be strong. Like, there was always this position of strength. It wasn't about femininity and being soft. So the idea of her feeling like her father had abandoned her, although she does admit that the alcohol played a big part of that, is constantly showing how she's trying to fix that within the relationships that she was choosing before.
Yeah, you can see it play out. Can you imagine, guys, if you just open your mouth and that sound came out?
No. I always wonder what happens, like, the day you realize, like, I can sing this well.
Can you imagine that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Coming up on DBL. Did you know David Copperfield is a secret museum that's closed off to the public? Don't miss our interview with the illusionist, where he reveals how to get a look inside. Plus, Britney Spears says goodbye to her conservatorship, what her life might look like on the other side in minutes. And as we go to break, let's listen to a little more Adele. Yes, please.
The stars of your love, they leave me
Closed captioning provided by
So, yeah, we were just talking about Adele and the one-night event, which was obviously so beautifully done, but just kind of the way that people connect with Adele and her story, because she has always shown this like amazing humility, although she's one of the biggest superstars in the world. And when you hear her story, there's nothing extraordinary about her story in terms of like who she is, her family's dynamics, where she comes from, which resonates with so many people, although the singer, you know, the sensation is quite extraordinary. So I think that really speaks to why people connect so much with her.
Yeah, you can see yourself in her.
Yeah, we didn't get to the part about the body positivity, but I thought the point that she made about it's not her responsibility to make other people feel comfortable about their bodies was so poignant, because
It's not her job.
that could be anything.
Yeah, it's not my job.
This November, don't miss a minute of DBL. I cannot wait.
You want to play it safe? Nah, girl, we want to know.
You don't feel like that's a little bit weird?
No! I gotta agree with Tori here. Hey, stop, I don't wanna hear it.
Here's how I feel. Okay, stop. I know. You mean like hooligans?
Is the hooligan problem under control?
There's no such thing as guns. I'm talking about.
We're off to a good start. DBL is always all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. Guess what, everyone? Britney Spears is free. Huh? Wake up, everyone. We could do this. It's on Friday. A judge ended Britney's 13-year conservatorship, and Britney posted this video on social media with the caption, "Finally free." She also thanked her fans who celebrated with confetti and cheers outside the courthouse. Her fiance Sam posted a video on Instagram celebrating in the car on the way to dinner. Now, ooh, I love that song. Brand new day.
That is not the word.
Those aren't the words at all.
Okay.
No.
Some of Britney's famous pals, like Paris Hilton.
Like, not one of those was the word.
Yeah, it was. Brand new day. Get your move on the push line.
No.
Break my day.
Get your
Break
booty on
my
the dance
day.
floor. Make my
Wow,
day.
you break
Who
my.
would want their day broken?
Right now, I do. Okay. Paris Hilton congratulated her on social media. Lady Gaga posted a vintage shot of them from the VMAs, writing, quote, "You never deserved what happened. Thank God for today." And actress Jamila Jamil wrote, quote, "We have to protect her now from the paparazzi and tabloid media who are determined to drive her back into the same mess. We have to now protect Britney." So that might be the new hashtag protect Britney. What do you guys think about this news?
Well, protect Britney, I think, is a very interesting hashtag, because protecting Britney also means protecting her from the takers. Like, this woman, like, since she was a girl, has been so overexposed, and she had people who never should have had access to her had access. And when you have so many takers in your life, it will completely disseminate you. And so if there is even one person who's around that's suspect, I hope that she has a village that is at least, you know, tight enough and advocating for her enough to be like, what are you doing here? You shouldn't even be in this neighborhood.
Right. Good point. And just so you guys know, an accountant will still be looking over her major transactions. Just so you know, she is having someone oversee it all. I just wanted to get that in there. Go ahead,
Thanks for Tori and her accounting tips. You know, for me, I look at it. I look at my kids that are not famous, even though my daughter was the baby in College Road Trip.
Yeah.
But you know, honestly, I look at my kids, and there is a wall of adults around them. Like, you will not have access under any circumstances.
And you made that very deliberate, Al.
I mean, there's nobody has any kind of singular, whereas like private volleyball coach, mom's sitting right there. If somebody's got a piano meeting, then I'm sitting right there. What's up? How you doing? Let's go. Like there, and so the fact that so many people had access to Britney with who she was, her money, her finances, her mentality is just amazing. And hopefully, if we get a hashtag out of this, great. But how about if we set some precedent for the next Britney coming up, because they're constantly coming. So
conservatorship abuse is real. I absolutely believe it. She couldn't even buy herself sneakers. She was dancing barefoot and she like hurt her foot and she's like, I wasn't allowed to get sneakers with the money. She said, I'm gonna go buy myself a lot of sneakers now. Unbelievable. I'm so happy.
Good story.
Coming up on DBL.
I like the sneaker angle. It's better than the H&R Block angle.
All right, David Copperfield stopped by DBL, and he didn't leave without showing us a crazy illusion. That's coming up next. Stay tuned.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Earlier, we chatted with the man, the myth, the legend, David Copperfield. I messed that one up. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
He has made the Statue of Liberty disappear, walked through the Great Wall of China, and has always made the impossible somehow seem possible. You know and love this household name. Please welcome to DBL the legendary magician, David Copperfield. We are so ecstatic to have you here. We also have your incredible book. But David, if a magician never reveals his secrets, I gotta know, how did you yourself learn magic, especially because before the internet, I mean, now you can just Google a trick, you can YouTube it. There was none of that ever existed. So what did you do?
Well, I started as a ventriloquist, as your producer Bert Brown knows, by idolizing a guy named Paul Winchell, who was our mutual hero. And I really was bad as a ventriloquist, so I started doing magic. And I found a shop that I recreated here called Tannins in New York.
Wow.
And I went to the shop that I've kind of recreated in this location here, and fell in love. This is a place where you come and you see Orson Welles working on magic, and Johnny Carson working on magic, or J.J. Abrams. In fact, he has a whole TED Talk about the mystery box and going to this exact store as a kid, and how it informed his storytelling, and Star Wars and all that. It all began with the passion for this amazing art that magic is.
And how old were you at the time?
I was about 8 years old, you know, but I was, you know, I was bad at everything else, including ventriloquism. But magic I was good at.
David, your aura, just like the way you talk, is very like, I feel like you're doing something on me right now. I don't even, it's just like your aura.
Captivating.
It's wonderful. All right, so you've got your
Thank
own
you.
secret.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
And he hasn't aged.
I know.
What is
Something
happening?
that you're just standing there and I'm drawn in. Like the way, like, I got to work on that, my presence. Like,
And what skincare cream is he using?
I don't know. He's got a lot of secrets.
Okay.
So speaking of secrets, you got your own secret museum, which isn't public, but like you mentioned, our EP, Bert, has been there. Will it ever be open to the public, David?
I can't do tours for the public in this museum because there's so many secrets involved that we wrote this book. And this book is right there, is an amazing book that gives people a personal tour of the museum.
I love the idea that you're just curating how to share it, because that space is so sacred. It's like you have to protect that energy. You know, people bring in a lot of energy. You got to keep that protected. So you said magic was the way of communicating and being accepted. Would you consider yourself to be an introvert?
I think, you know, all of us are looking for a way to express ourselves. We all have that need to feel special and to communicate. Magic was my way. Magic was the thing that in school when the baseball wasn't that great. That wasn't horrible. Wasn't that great. You know, the soccer, not that great. But I did magic and kids go, oh, okay, you're pretty cool. So it was a motivation for me to keep going. And, you know, we all find our paths. Sometimes it's sports for some people, but like all you really beautiful people on the panel there, handsome and beautiful people, you know, you found a way of communicating, right? That's why Bert Dubrow, you know, has you working there, right? You know, because you're able to communicate your aura. Magic was my way.
You've been performing for 50 years, and you do 15 shows a week. I really thought when I read that you were going to say a year. 15 a week. So you've clearly reached success beyond anybody's imagination. So why are you still doing this? Why are you on our show right now? Now that I'm happy you are. I just don't know. I would be on my private island saying miss me with all your calls, but he's here. So why are you still doing this?
I like it.
That's awesome. It's simple. Yeah.
Passion.
I enjoy what I do. I'm very lucky, you know.
What were you most excited to show your readers about your very secretive world?
It's an amazing amount of lives and stories. All of these ladies and gentlemen who perform magic have amazing stories that you can really relate to.
David, we know you're a busy guy. Is there anything you could show us before we let you go?
A little magic?
Free show.
Yes, I'm going to blow your mind.
All right.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. This blows my mind because when I was a kid, I couldn't afford this. This is something I could not afford, and it comes from a magic shop like this. Empty tube, and a little tray here. Put this like this. I need that little flower there. Nice. We have a natural, normal flower. Oh my God.
Oh, is that for me?
It is for you. You have to share.
David, thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you on DBL.
I cannot wait to
share
get this.
your passion for the power of magic. You can pick up a copy of David's new book, David Copperfield's History of Magic. You can get them wherever books are sold. Thank you so much, David.
Thank
have a
you,
great
David.
day. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020, and more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. We have a Black Friday scam you need to know about. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. So scammers are sending out text messages and emails saying that you are eligible for a refund on a product you never actually purchased. The purpose behind this is for you to share your credit card information. LifeLock helps you keep you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-419-0131 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. That's a good heads up.
Yeah, you got to
Really
watch
good
this.
heads up.
The scams
Spread the
change
word.
every day.
Yes. DBL's New Every Day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Adele shines in her primetime special and bares her soul to Oprah. The reason for her divorce and surprising details about her weight loss journey. A woman's life spirals after an internet follower stalks her for years. Will she ever feel safe again?
I feel kind of like half of me is dead.
And joining us live today, comedian Kim Whitley and 80s pop icon Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done.
Woo! Hello, and thank you, Adele, for that beautiful song. Welcome to DBL. It is Monday, November 15th. I am Sam with Al, Jeff, and Erica. All right. Did you all see Adele's big concert special last night? Dressed, let's look at the picture. There she is in that gorgeous black gown. Adele performed at Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. It was in front of an intimate crowd of the very famous, if you noticed. Adele was promoting her new album 30, which is all about her divorce. And the night also featured a surprise proposal. Spoiler alert, she did say yes. And check out how she was shocked when the lights came up to reveal Adele was there, who then serenaded the couple. Adele also sat down with Oprah, and throughout the night, we learned some new details about her weight loss, her relationship with her father, and of course, more about her divorce from her ex, Simon. Take a look.
It was when I admitted to my own friends who thought I was really happy that actually I'm really unhappy, and they all gasped, like, you know. I feel like it was sort of from there that I was like, what am I doing? The same drive as staying in a relationship, even though you're not happy and you do it for the kids. I think it's as loving as doing that for the kids by leaving and you know, finding your own happiness so that they really know who you are.
And Adele also sang a few of her new songs from her album, including the single Easy on Me. Take a listen.
I changed who I was to put you down first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby.
Oh, that shot alone is just like cinematography, like goals. 10 million people tuned in. So this is like Erica's crying already.
I'm not crying. I just got teary-eyed.
Yeah. I'm not crying. You're
break
crying.
it all down. We're going to break this all down because this was the special of all specials.
Absolutely.
It felt like appointment television. What did you think of it generally?
Well, I forgot it was on. I was watching Sunday Night Football, right? Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's and I was like, oh, Adele's thing's on. I flipped over at the perfect time, right? The sun was going down. The sky was pink and purple. The Hollywood sign was in the background. She sounded phenomenal. I was captivated. She kept me in there, and I wanted to keep watching because it was like you said, the DP was praying right there.
Which
when he's
means?
like, the director of photography is like, wow, we got it. You know, because not all the time does it, I mean, it's always sunny in LA, right? But not all the time does it turn purple with that background and Adele's voice. I mean, it moved me, not as much as Erica. You're crying over here.
Yeah, well, I just got teary-eyed because, I mean, first, I've always talked about how during the really comeback year of my life, I got a record player, and my only record was Adele, and I would play that for months on end, just flipping it back and forth. And it really was, it was kind of a time in my life where I resonated with so much of what she was singing about, you know, that transition. And I love the idea of, you know, obviously the concert was beautiful, but also seeing her sit down with Oprah in the all white. It felt like this is a truth, you know, and bearing her soul, and then performing on that stage and being in all black and like really pouring her soul out. Like that aesthetic was so beautiful. Sam, I'm wondering how you felt about it because Mark proposed to you at that venue.
Yeah.
He did. It was like, I was emotional the whole time. Like, if I had a box of tissues next to me, I didn't. I used my sweatshirt. But if I had a box of tissues next to me, it would have been gone within minutes. But yeah, that's where Mark proposed to me. So not only did I have a nostalgic, emotional pull just to that moment with my husband, but everything that she sang about just felt so relatable. And I feel like we've missed that. And every time on this this show, we talk about award shows or we talk about celebrities, there's always viewers or us bringing up the fact that it just doesn't feel relatable anymore, that there's some sort of a disconnect between like the elite and everybody else. For some reason, Adele has bridged that gap when she brought up her divorce, when she brought up the alcoholism. Let's first start, because I know that we have all these different beats here that we want to get to. What did you think about her talking about divorce and how she felt embarrassed that her marriage didn't work out?
Well, I think because I was sitting here and I was watching Erica tear up. I was thinking about Jeff saying he's watching football. Sunday Night Football is the best, and he stopped to watch this. And I was like, what is it, this huge demo that she pulls in? And it's because she talks about like really fighting for your happiness, because when you talk about leaving a partner that's not good for you, sometimes it's kind of easy. They're abusive physically, mentally, and you just need to figure out the logistics in leaving. But sometimes when you're talking about change and moving on, it's gray and it's murky, and it's like, I still love them, but it's not right. This doesn't feel right. I feel like I want more, but do I want to blow my life up, blow my kids up? What's my mom going to say? So it's this give and pull, and everybody has it. When it's just like, oh, they hit me, well, yeah, let's go. Right. But when it's gray, it's so much more difficult, and she finds a way to illuminate that, and it was just, there's a beauty.
And they still love each other, right? She said that she and Simon live right across the street from one another.
Great.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, I also appreciated that she talked about how she thought things were going to be and being unable to break from that idea. She didn't want to get married and have children and then split up, and that was very important to her. And when you go into a union, like, or, you know, a commitment like marriage, and there's a thing that you're like, this will never be the way that it is for me, and then you realize, no, this is the road to the way that I thought I never wanted it to be. It does get very gray. I think, you know, when I went through my divorce, it was very much a situation where we looked at each other and said, we're going to end this now before we destroy each other, because that was what we were going to do out of love. That wasn't something that, you know, a lot of people, there has to be a villain, there has to be somebody who was right and someone who was wrong. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think when you make a commitment, especially in front of your community, your circle, you feel like you're not just divorcing a person, you're divorcing your entire life.
Right.
So for her to spell it out the way that she did, I think it's going to be very freeing to a lot of people.
Amen. And Jeff, what else spoke to you? Because she brought up her father, she brought up alcoholism, her weight, the pressure of people when she did lose the weight, anxiety.
Well, I thought one thing that caught my eye and probably other people's was the symbolism. She had the Saturn on her arm, and her earrings were Saturn.
And she was at the planetarium.
At the planetarium, right? So I looked up what it meant, and Saturn returns to its home every 30 years, or between 28 and 32 years. 30 is her album. She's 33, so I'm thinking this is a symbol for her. It's a rebirth, right? She's moving forward. She's not just talking about crying, about relationships in the past. You know who I'm talking about, because we're going to talk about her in a little bit. I'm not even going to say her name, but she's moving forward. She's singing about things that broke her, and I always say the things that make you better in life are the things that you fail at, whether it be marriage, whether it be your sobriety, whatever it is. It's not a bad thing. It's a tool to make you better, and that's what she's portraying. That's why I think people are captivated by it, and that's why people are inspired by her.
Wow, I can't believe that you unpacked the whole symbolism of that, but that's
Sherlock Holmes.
Big Jeff isn't as shallow as everyone assumes.
Oh man, we're going to continue to talk about Adele in the break, so make sure that you guys tune in, because there's a lot more Adele. Go to our YouTube, and we're going to tackle some of the other issues that were brought up. We'll be right back.
The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have had it all. Broken in the deep.
Closed captioning provided by
Me.
Okay.
No way, she won't remember me.
So we're talking.
Okay, that's cool.
We're talking about the big holiday food fight, but those are our last two questions. That's what she's promoting. The first two, we're gonna actually ask her about Jackie, Harry from Sister Sister. They've been dubbed lookalikes. Like
And there's actually a story behind it.
Okay.
So, but they actually are friends now, but they did not like each other back then.
Because they were always pit
So,
against
so
each
you're
other,
gonna ask her
probably.
why. So that's
Okay.
the first one.
And it's Jack A.
Jack A.
Jack A.
It's in there. It's in the script like that, but it's Jack A.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then Erica, you're gonna ask her just like about the holidays. What's the craziest thing that's happened, like family-wise and around the holidays with her family? And then we'll ask. You guys are both asking about the show.
I like my
So
question,
We'll cross
yeah.
to it at the end, and we'll be good. Okay.
So I love this. I love like the behind the scenes where we don't even. Are we done?
No, we're still on.
Okay, so like we don't even have to talk. That's what got me interested in television. Was like when they would do outtakes or like you'd see the shot of behind the camera. You know, so that's what I'm like, wow, what are those people doing behind the camera? What's going on there? That's what got me interested in like doing that. And then when I go to set or watch something, I'd be so excited and like, oh my God, look at that guy. He's the guy who moves the cameras. And I find out it's just Rob. But it's like all that excited me.
Have you seen Scenes from a Marriage?
No.
I watched the first episode.
In Scenes from a Marriage
From HBO.
with Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac, they show what's happening before the shot is actually taken. So you
I would
see
love that.
everyone moving around, like you see the cameras, you see everything, and then they take you into the scene, and it's pretty fascinating.
Wow, what's it called?
He was like my
Scenes from a Marriage.
It's on HBO.
Welcome back to DBL. It is the most wonderful time of the year. In fact, Jeff's already decorated for Christmas.
Absolutely.
Snow, mistletoe, and the most delicious family recipes. And to help us get into the holiday spirit, please welcome the lovely Kim Whitley. Look at, and she decorated too, you guys.
I'm ready to go.
I know. So she's going to be chatting all things holiday on the upcoming show, The Big Holiday Food Fight. So Kim, before we get into everything holiday, let's talk about, a lot of our viewers actually wrote in about this, about your celebrity lookalike, Jack A. Harry. Now, what they may not know is that you guys are really good friends, but you said in the past that she did not like you back then. Why is that?
Oh my God, I love the picture. Well, this is the thing. I was young. I came into Hollywood when she was at the height of her career. And I look at it like if somebody came in right now looking like me, coming on the set, I might be a little intimidated. But, it was a rocky road at first because we didn't know each other. And it's true, I wasn't trying to take her place, but I wanted to be in her place. I wanted to be where she was. And, but we're friends now. We laugh about it. That's why I always wear my hair lighter. So because when I wear it dark, it is absolutely Jack A. Jack A knows. She says the same thing. When people come up and say, "Can I take a picture?" We just agree. We don't argue with people anymore. We sign autographs.
Right.
It's too much.
That's smart. Just roll with it, right?
Right. She said she's even gotten some dates.
Okay. First of all, I love that y'all are friends now because there's enough room at the table for all of us, sis. I am so excited to talk to you right now. I just love you, okay? Now, the holidays.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is everything. The holidays bring out the best and the worst in all of us. I know it does for my family. So what's the craziest thing that happened to your family during the holidays?
I don't think I can talk about that right now. There's so many, because there's emotions, there's so much going on during the holidays. But I think, one time we went skiing, during the holidays, and my brother, he skis, but he didn't. We were young, but he decided to go up on one of those jumps, those little jump things. He's not a professional skier. What's wrong with you? He jumps off one of those things, lands straight on his face, and he's just laying there. And we're all like, what's wrong with him? We go over and we pick him up, and he lets out, he just, he said he couldn't breathe until we lifted him up. He's about to die. So he will never do that. Craziness.
Wow. Kim, I could relate to the look-like thing. Everyone's like, are you John Stamos? And I'm like, here, I'm John Stamos.
Okay.
But let's talk about about your show.
Humble brag, a very humble brag.
Let's talk about your show, the big
I
holiday.
was thinking George Clooney. I was really thinking
That
George
would have been a
Clooney.
humble brag, but listen, John Stamos, I mean,
come on.
It's just a good one. All right, let's talk about the big holiday food fight. Tell us about the celebrity judges. Who was the naughtiest and who was the nicest?
Oh, well, you know, the naughtiest judge of all was James Wright Chanel. If people don't know who he is, but you think about Patty Pies, he went viral by singing about Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pies. He is so funny and so good. He can sing, he can cook. He was the naughtiest. Gina Neely, fantastic. She's a real chef. And then Darnell Ferguson, super chef, another real chef. And then there's me, who can't cook at all, but I can eat.
That's okay, Kim. I can't cook either. Well, we are so excited for the big holiday food fight. In fact, to our viewers, it premieres tomorrow night on OWN. Thank you so much, Kim. We're huge fans over here. If you're ever in Denver, come join us. We love you. Happy holidays.
I will. Thank you so much. I'm a fan, too. Why my hands look so big?
Bye, Kim.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Abby Furness is a 22-year-old dancer, singer, fire breather, and model whose nightmare ordeal with a stalker began on her birthday. How she became the object of one man's fixation for years, and the toll it took on her career, her life, and her health. That is today's edition of Obsessed.
I was in lockdown at my mum's and dad's house, and then I got a message from a man on my OnlyFans that said to me, "Happy birthday, can I drop a gift over to you?" So I said to Jamie, the stalker, I said, "No, you can't come." A few hours later, he turned up at my mum's and dad's house with a bottle of Prosecco and a card, and I was so confused. He asked if I could have a selfie and a hug. So I gave him a hug, we had a selfie, and then he left. My dad said that we needed to phone the police. The police took some statements from me, but I had a contract to work in Spain like 2 days later. They said, "Go to Spain, we'll keep an eye on him." So I left and I went to Ibiza, and then maybe 7 days in, when I was in a bar, I got a message from Jamie saying that he was in Ibiza, and I thought he was just trying to scare me. But I looked over across from the bar and I saw Jamie sitting on a bench staring at me. I'm so angry with him because he has completely changed me as a person. I have worries that I have never had before, or like anxiety that I never felt before. And that is all because of this one guy. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I used to have really bad nightmares, but they're much better now. I moved out of my house and I live in a different house now. And he's in prison, so I feel so much safer. I feel like kind of like half of me is dead.
Earlier, we spoke with Abby about her harrowing ordeal. Here's what she had to say. Walk us through this, and perhaps some of our viewers watching, you'll be of some help to them. What was it like coming face to face with your stalker, not once, but over and over again?
It was honestly so terrifying. I think from the moment it started, I was so confused, and then it just got worse and worse and worse, and the feeling got scarier and scarier as the situation grew.
So terrifying. I want to know how this obsession, and I say that purposely, with you affected your relationship with your friends and everything, but especially with your boyfriend. How did that work, that dynamic?
Honestly, he actually didn't think I was telling the truth at the beginning.
Wow.
Because the story is so dramatic, he just thought I was a drama queen. And it made me feel really awful because the closest person to me, my boyfriend, didn't believe me.
The nature of your job means that you always have to put yourself out there. How did having a stalker impact your work? Did you want to shy away from the public eye?
So at the beginning, while I was being stalked, like from day one, I tried to continue as normal, trying to just get my life back, be the same Abby that I was. And then as the stalking increased, I literally just lost all my motivation. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to do any of my dancing or fire breathing work. I felt disgusting that a guy has fallen in love with me because of this.
All right, he's in prison. First off, let's all have a round of applause. But I want to know what your emotions are. How do you, right? I mean, really, how do you feel about the entire ordeal? Now that you can step back a little, Abby, how are you feeling? Walk us through those emotions.
I feel very safe. I feel very relieved as well. Not just for myself, but for my family and friends. But I still feel like I'm stuck, like I'm trapped. I still don't feel like everything's over.
You know he's not going to be in prison forever. So what are you worried about? Do you think that he'll come after you again, especially now that you've spoken out about him? Like, how are you feeling about this countdown to his release?
Honestly, I'm so scared. I actually think he likes me talking out about it, which I didn't realize at the beginning. He just wants me to think about him all the time.
Oh, wow.
He's relapsed, and I thought it would stop after the first time he went into prison. But it's happened, this is like his third time in prison now. I just don't think he'll ever stop.
By you speaking out, that courage is going to help one of our viewers. Just know that we will continue to follow your journey and we will continue to be on your side, okay? And you are a brave young woman. We appreciate you.
Heck yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
We are always here and we appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020, and more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is connecting the dots.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Taylor Swift performs her 10-minute song on SNL and teases a new project with Blake Lively. We'll tell you what we know about that collab. And Britney Spears says goodbye to her conservatorship, what her life might look like on the other side. Stay with us.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Erica. Okay, lots to celebrate because Britney Spears finally free. In fact, on Friday, a judge ended Britney's 13-year conservatorship. Britney posted this video on social media with the caption, "Finally free." She also thanked her fans who celebrated with confetti and cheers outside the courthouse. Her fiance Sam posted a video on Instagram celebrating in the car on the way to dinner. Now, some of Britney's famous pals like Paris Hilton congratulated her on social media. Lady Gaga posted a pic of them from the VMAs writing, quote, "You never deserved what happened. Thank God for today." And actress Jamila Jamil wrote, quote, "We have to protect her from the paparazzi and tabloid media who are determined to drive her back into this same mess." Erica, where do we go from here? Are you also worried about now that she'll be free from her conservatorship that all eyes are going to be on her?
Well, I think the Protect Britney is very interesting, and I think she's absolutely right in terms of paparazzi. However, people need to be very vigilant about the takers who seemingly always gravitate towards her. She's one of those people that people are always going to look forward to, what can I get out of her? So if they're, for her inner circle, and I pray that she has a great inner circle that will fiercely try to protect her. If there is even one person that's dangling around the area, like, ask them what they're doing there and what their intentions are, because I really think that was the catalyst to a lot of it from the beginning.
Listen, I'm happy for her. I think everybody's happy for her, but I think there are concerns. It's just natural. I don't know her personally, but just looking, if we play that video again, if you use this as a meme to celebrate a 13-year conservatorship about a moment in time in your life, would this caption that?
It's strange.
It wouldn't for me, right? You wouldn't post this, be like, "Hey, 10 years sober," and put that as your meme. So there is a disconnect there. Something's off. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just saying what I feel.
I know, yeah, and I appreciate it because I feel like it's coming from a place of love. And sometimes when you're coming from a place of love, you have to say difficult things. It's easy to say, "Good for Britney, next story." But when you really do care, I mean, I think something bigger can come out of this. You think about like an Amber Alert. Unfortunately, that was a young woman that was kidnapped and taken away. But now it's a thing that's lived on past her life to help save other children. And I hope maybe we can do this with the Britney thing, where now we have like Britney's Law, where we protect young people that have a ton of money and are too young to make their own decisions and can't control who their circle is and who's in it and who's outside of it.
Right.
So maybe this Free Britney movement can be bigger than it is already.
I think it will be. I really do. And I hope it does. And to your point, Jeff, I think, you know, perhaps maybe some of her quote unquote, because I'm not a clinician, odd behavior is the repercussions from being under the thumb of her parents or her dad for so long, right? So yes, I hope that she moves on, is happy, but I hope that she also puts her mental health front and center, like all of us do. I'm not singling out Britney Spears. We all need to do that. So, and to Erica's point, she needs to keep that inner circle tight. Okay, so Taylor Swift performed the extended version of her song All Too Well on SNL over the weekend. She also played the short film based on the song in the background. Take a look. She is so talented. But Taylor isn't done yet. Today, she also dropped the video for her new song, I Bet You Think About Me, directed and co-written by her good friend Blake Lively. Watch.
I don't have to be your shrink to know that you'll never be happy. And I bet you think about me.
Ooh, fans were quick to suggest that this revenge song is also about her ex, Jake Gyllenhaal, who she dated back in 2010. What do you think about this, Erica?
Well, actually, Jeff has been waiting so long. I'm just going to allow him to take the floor because
this is not my time to shine about Taylor Swift. But I'm saying, if you compare what Adele just did and put her song and then play Taylor Swift's song, What are we talking about here? Adele's talking about packing up all of her feelings and the weight loss and the alcoholism and moving forward, right? She's going back 10 years, re-recording old things about Jake Gyllenhaal when she was 20. Like, right. I'm disconnected a little bit. And who's her people, by the way, that put out her album the same time Adele's coming out with this special? Because in comparison,
I think maybe her people feel like these are two different audiences. And I get it. People are going to think that we're attacking Taylor Swift. First of all, I would never. I think she serves a purpose for a lot of people. A lot of people get a lot of inspiration from her. Super talented artist, took control of her career. Props to all that. But I do look at this as like, you know, she's college and Adele is grad school right now. Adele is talking about very difficult, gray, murky things. And I think Taylor Swift is talking about a period in your life where you're just like, I'm unhappy with this person, or I'm unhappy with how this ended, and both can be true. I just think Taylor Swift is talking about a different earlier point in her life, and that's why we're talking about something from 2010. It just doesn't seem like this is meant to relate to people maybe our age, but maybe 23-year-olds that have broken up in college, it does.
I think they both, because just like I got emotional about the Adele, or watching Adele, it's because it brought me back to the specific time in my life. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at it, I think 10 minutes for the song to, you know, be an extension is also symbolic of someone who's singing about a time in their life in reflection mode, which is what a lot of us hear as fans. So I do think that they're two completely different veins. I do think that there's enough room and there's a big enough table for both of them to coexist. But I think at the root of it, it is nostalgia for both.
I agree with Erica.
Why do you have to just say, why can't you just say I agree
I said it
instead
first.
of like, I agree with you guys? Why'd you cut Jeff and I out?
I just thought that she summed it up really well.
So Jeff and I, we just could have left for this segment?
How many times do you and Jeff agree with you two? And if I agree with Jeff, I say I agree with Jeff. Stop it. We're going to the next story. I thought Erica summed it up really well.
I'm with Al.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Have you ever lied about watching a popular TV show? If so, guess what? You're not alone. According to a poll by Radio Times, more than half of people say they've lied about watching the latest TV shows like Schitt's Creek. The royal drama The Crown was the fourth most lied about show. People also lied about following the saga of Walter White in Breaking Bad. 10% of people polled said they lied about watching Game of Thrones, and the most lied about TV show, Stranger Things. 14% of people said they watched the Netflix show, when in reality, they had not. Have you guys ever lied about a TV show or a movie, Star Wars, nothing?
But I understand why people do.
Yes.
Because I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Neither did I.
Never got into it. And when I said it, especially in the height of the popularity, people acted like I should be excommunicated from the earth. Like, so I can understand people just being like, yeah, I watched it too. Like, I get it.
I think the survey's the other way, right? They watched it and they're lying about it. Is
no,
that
they
what you
never
got?
watched it. They're pretending that, oh yeah, I saw Schitt's Creek, it's hilarious.
That makes a little more sense, because I'm like, who are you serving?
Have you ever just in the midst of a conversation just been like, yeah, I watched that, just to like partake in it, or no?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes more sense.
Which show?
If I just don't want to talk to somebody anymore, I'm like, yeah, I've been there. It's fantastic.
But I just feel like
I've been to Paris.
I don't think that you can now, because everybody is such a super fan that if you say you watch it, they're not going to go, oh, cool. They're going to be like, what'd you think in season 3 with that character arc? Like, people are like real connoisseurs of the shows. Like, you couldn't like I couldn't tell you I've seen Schitt's Creek, and I haven't, because you would go crazy. Like, you know everything about the show.
Right.
I don't think you can lie anymore.
Have you ever lied about saying you saw a movie or a TV show to fit in? Ever? Even in high school?
Oh yeah, definitely, because that was like a little bit of social currency.
Yeah.
So especially like going to see an R-rated movie, be like, oh, I went and saw Boys in the Hood, but it's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
I was right on.
Yeah.
And you just say everything that's in the trailer. Yeah, that's how you get around that.
Did you ever get caught lying?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, for that.
I don't know. You're asking me to go back 30 years on the spot on live TV, so I'm not sure. Probably.
I pretended that I watched Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think
was that R-rated or close?
Yeah, and I was probably like, I don't know. I was too young to watch it at the time. My mom never let me watch it at the time, but I remember at school some kids did, and I remember being like, oh yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that's super common.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they knew I didn't watch it, because as they were talking about it, it was pretty clear I had no idea.
You're just nodding like, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, coming up on DBL, writing her first song at just 5 years old. Oh my gosh, you guys, there she is, Debbie Gibson joins us live right after the break. She already has her Christmas decorations up. Go, Debbie.
Tree.
Closed captioning provided by
We are talking Christmas trees. We were looking at Debbie Gibson's background, and she's got a pink Christmas tree. And I was like, oh, if you're going to get a fake tree, go all in with a crazy color. And then you said...
We have 3 trees up in our house, but let me explain, okay? So again, we just got a house, but it's kind of a symbolic of where we came from. I still have this small Charlie Brown Christmas tree of Jordan and I's first Christmas together.
That's awesome.
And Jordan didn't want to put that up. So we have a new tree that we bought last year, and then Jordan wanted to get a smaller white one, like a little fancier for the living room, right? So I'm like, I'm putting up the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and I put that up in the basement just for me because it's symbolic about where we came from. So that's why there's 3, and yes, they're already up.
I love it. Erica?
We did 2 trees last year, kind of similar, but we have a white tree that I had to have in our old place, so we put that up in our bedroom. And then we can have a real tree because we're not in a condo anymore, so we get a real tree for the living room. And then generally the tree that we couldn't have a real tree for, we'll put in the basement. So we'll end up.
Have 3?
We'll see what my family. So my family comes for Thanksgiving, and so I like to have a Christmas decorating party to get everybody in on the decoration.
Am I sitting with 2 people that have 6 Christmas trees between them?
Yep.
Erica, I'm going to tell you something about the live Christmas tree that I just learned. Do you know how common it is with live Christmas trees to have a sack of baby spiders come out? It's very common. In fact, if anybody could Google, my phone never works in here, but if somebody could Google it.
Hey, could someone Google spider sack?
Yeah. Some weird fanfiction is going to come up.
You have it in there in your house for 6 weeks. And if it's right around the time that spiders, I guess, give birth or have baby sacks.
Shake your love, I just can't shake your love. Shake your love, I just can't shake your love. Shake your love, I just can't shake.
Yes! She became an international star before her high school graduation. Let's be honest, you can't talk about music of the 80s and 90s without her in it. Please welcome to DBL the amazingly talented Debbie Gibson.
Put her name on it, yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hi.
Wow, and you look fantastic.
Hey.
Wow. Before we talk about your new music, which is incredible, you never disappoint, let's talk about your amazing mom. Some say Kris Jenner is the first momager, but no. Your mom is the OG, right?
Diane Gibson, can I say badass on this program?
Yeah.
She has always been a badass. I mean, you know, she was like fresh out of the kitchen with the rolling pin and the gray roots and the bad perm, and was like, I'm going to figure this out. Because she said to me, you know, you're going to do this with or without me. You're going to have this career with or without me. I want to help you. I want to support you. I want to make this easier for you. And she had just the right amount of like healthy insanity to do it, because, you know, I started my career playing clubs. I was 16 years old, couldn't go in the front door, but could go in the back door. And she would go, kids, wait in the car, because there was me, 2 dancers, and my 21-year-old sister doing sound and lights. Hi, Karen. And she would go, wait in the car. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, come and get me, because she never let me go on a club stage, or any stage for that matter, without getting the money up front.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, and she was like 40, you know, like, and she had four daughters, and she was juggling, you know, marriage and kids and her, career before she was managing me. And anyway, it's such a fascinating story. Her story is more fascinating than my story, in my opinion.
And I was going to say, like, we have to talk, like, first of all, think about this. Your mom did everything that she did for you without the internet. There was no Google to say, what do I do with my daughter's career? How do I market? Or she just figured it out. That's old school ingenuity. I love it.
Exactly. There was no map. There was no map. And I still tell, young talent today, like, because I love to mentor young talent. And people are always looking for that map. There she is. Aww. They're looking for that map. And I'm like, everyone's got their own path to forge. And it's really kind of like a breadcrumb trail. And you just have to trust your gut. And she did. And she learned what she had to learn in a very street smart kind of way.
Speaking of street smart, she had to do something crazy to get you noticed. Like, do you remember anything? What got you noticed? What did she do?
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you the funniest story that I've not thought about since then, and this did not end up working. But I remember she took me to Westbury Music Fair to see Bob Hope, and she goes, bring him flowers and stick a demo in the flowers. So Bob Hope did not sign me on to do his USO tours, but I full on ran down the aisle at Westbury Music Fair with flowers with a demo tape.
That's amazing.
Because my mom, and listen, it's like she wasn't like the stage mom in the bad sense of the word, but there is a little stage mother, I think, in every mother. Like every soccer mom in a way is a stage mom. Like everybody wants their kid to succeed. So we had a lot of fun doing crazy things. But really, it was about Atlantic Records taking a chance on me and us getting me into the clubs. I would play a straight club, a teen club, and a gay club every night. I would play from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Hustle. Wow.
3 or 4 nights a week.
I love it.
Yeah. We were hustling.
Yes. Well, girl, let's talk about when family and business don't work. Because after 13 years, Britney Spears has finally broken free of her father's conservatorship. What are your thoughts on this news, and to get people to further understand as we're all learning about what went into this in real time?
Look, I wasn't there. I met Britney a few times. She was always super lovely and professional. And I love that people have been rooting for her this whole time. They always say America loves a great comeback. And this is like the comeback story of all time. But you said the key thing. It doesn't always work. I think when you get involved with family and business, you have to know that there are these risks. And at some point, unless you're going to be in business forever, look, my mom and I are the best of friends now, but we went through a divorce of sorts. It's very tricky. There are a lot of dynamics. And I know that you guys were commenting earlier, on her Instagram posts and stuff like that. I say, if she's dancing in a midriff top or whatever got her through the day, it got her through the day. And let's hope that now she does get the counseling she needs, because she's been a prisoner for 13 years. I have a therapist on speed dial anyway, because teen stardom is trippy. Life is trippy, right? But when your little teenage brain is not wired to understand business. And so, and finances and all of that. And I feel like every teen artist should have someone who puts a big sum of money that they don't even know they have aside for them for when they're old enough to comprehend, because there are people leeching and spending for you, and you're trusting. And so, there were a lot of pitfalls. I'm very lucky. I turned out okay, but it's not without a lot of twists and turns and diligence. And like I said, I can only hope that Britney's future is now bright. I think everyone's been just hoping that for her, and I'm so thrilled for her.
A little insight from Debbie Gibson. I love it.
know.
Quickly, before we go, let's talk about my favorite time of year, Debbie. Christmas. I noticed your tree's up. You just released this single, Christmas Star. Now tell us where you got the inspiration. Where did this come from?
It's been kind of a message I've been talking about all year with my original music, and that is, don't just sit around wishing and hoping for great things to happen. Be that change you want to see and be that change you want to be. And that's really what it's about. And that line about forgiving the past and just move on. There's so many things polarizing people these days. I think it's time for no judgment, kindness, forgiveness. Holidays are a fresh start, in my opinion, and that's really the feeling of the song. It's a very optimistic song.
Oh, we all need it. We really do.
Absolutely.
Debbie's new single, Christmas Star, is streaming right now. Also, you guys have to check out her album, The Body Remembers. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you,
today.
girl.
Thank you. And before we go to break, here's a first listen to Debbie's new holiday hit, Christmas Star.
Little boy blue, let's turn it around. Live life like you're in a Hallmark town. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Dancing with the Stars judge Carrie Ann Inaba joins us live. She's dishing on Madonna's top rules for her dancers. And on an all-new True Crime Chronicles, a Texas man vanishes without a trace. What happened to Eotis Harris III?
This is the first news conference I've done. I have done nothing in my own city. They turned me down.
That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. So last year, shoppers spent $9 million on Black Friday, and scammers are banking on this. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. One of the Black Friday scams we want you to be aware of is a refund scam. Scammers are sending out text messages and emails saying you're eligible for a refund on a product you never actually purchased. So the purpose behind this is to get you to share your credit card information. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-419-0131 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020. And more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is connecting the dots.
Don't miss a minute of DBL.
You agree with this, or you are going to lose your job.
That's a slap in the face.
You're messing with people's lives here.
None of that
The
matters.
album, yes, it does.
Hey,
Please
verse
let me
it.
finish.
Okay. $200. Things can get heated.
That was dramatic.
But it's all good.
I think Jeff got out of the cage a little bit.
I like it.
T-Bone did too. We're good. Because we're family. Boom!
Al, thanks for getting my back in there, buddy.
Thanks, Al. DBL is always all new every day.
I'm loving these promos.
I know.
I really do.
We can go at it.
Yeah.
But then we can kiss and make up.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about kissing, but okay. Okay, but somebody who really is looking for all the love. Melissa says, Debbie Gibson.
I know.
I grew up on her songs. It's still on my music rotation. I'm dying right now. Between the lines pulls on my heartstrings so much. And Carol says, love Debbie and her Christmas decor. She seems so real and
She
so
really
cool.
does seem so real.
Any comments about me?
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, everybody. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great Monday, everybody.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Adele shines in her primetime special and bears her soul to Oprah. The reason for her divorce and surprising details about her weight loss journey. A woman's life spirals after an internet follower stalks her for years. Will she ever feel safe again?
I feel kind of like half of me is dead.
And joining us live today, comedian Kim Whitley and 80s pop icon Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Hello, and thank you, Adele, for that beautiful song. Welcome to DBL. It is Monday, November 15th. I am Sam with Al, Jeff, and Erica. All right. Did you all see Adele's big concert special last night? Dressed, let's look at the picture. There she is in that gorgeous black gown. Adele performed at Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. It was in front of an intimate crowd of the very famous, if you noticed. Adele was promoting her new album 30, which is all about her divorce. And the night also featured a surprise proposal. Spoiler alert, she did say yes. And check out how she was shocked when the lights came up to reveal Adele was there, who then serenaded the couple. Adele also sat down with Oprah, and throughout the night, we learned some new details about her weight loss, her relationship with her father, and of course, more about her divorce from her ex, Simon. Take a look.
It was when I admitted to my own friends who thought I was really happy that actually I'm really unhappy, and they all gasped, like, you know. I feel like it was sort of from there that I was like, what am I doing? The same drive as staying in a relationship, even though you're not happy and you do it for the kids. I think it's as loving as doing that for the kids by leaving and you know, finding your own happiness so that they really know who you are.
And Adele also sang a few of her new songs from her album, including the single Easy on Me. Take a listen.
I changed who I was to put you down first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby.
Oh, that shot alone is just like cinematography, like goals. 10 million people tuned in. So this is like Erica's crying already.
I'm not crying. I just got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
We're going to break it all down. We're going to break this all down because this was the special of all specials.
Absolutely.
It felt like appointment television. What did you think of it generally?
Well, I forgot it was on. I was watching Sunday Night Football, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So and I was like, oh, Adele's thing's on. I flipped over at the perfect time, right? The sun was going down. The sky was pink and purple. The Hollywood sign was in the background. She sounded phenomenal. I was captivated. She kept me in there, and I wanted to keep watching because it was like you said, the DP was praying right there.
Which
when he's like, the director of photography is like, wow, we got it. You know, because not all the time does it, I mean, it's always sunny in LA, right? But not all the time does it turn purple with that background and Adele's voice. I mean, it moved me, not as much as Erica. You're crying over here.
Yeah, well, I just got teary-eyed because, I mean, first, I've always talked about how during the really comeback year of my life, I got a record player, and my only record was Adele, and I would play that for months on end, just flipping it back and forth. And it really was, it was kind of a time in my life where I resonated with so much of what she was singing about, you know, that transition. And I love the idea of, you know, obviously the concert was beautiful, but also seeing her sit down with Oprah in the all white. It felt like this is a truth, you know, and bearing her soul, and then performing on that stage and being in all black and like really pouring her soul out. Like that aesthetic was so beautiful. Sam, I'm wondering how you felt about it because Mark proposed to you at that venue.
Yeah. He did. It was like, I was emotional the whole time. Like if I had a box of tissues next to me, I didn't. I used my sweatshirt. But if I had a box of tissues next to me, it would have been gone within minutes. But yeah, that's where Mark proposed to me. So not only did I have a nostalgic, emotional pull just to that moment with my husband, but everything that she sang about just felt so relatable. And I feel like we've missed that. And every time on this show, we talk about award shows or we talk about celebrities, there's always viewers or us bringing up the fact that it just doesn't feel relatable anymore, that there's some sort of a disconnect between like the elite and everybody else. For some reason, Adele has bridged that gap when she brought up her divorce, when she brought up the alcoholism. Let's first start, because I know that we have all these different beats here that we want to get to. What did you think about her talking about divorce and how she felt embarrassed that her marriage didn't work out?
Well, I think, because I was sitting here and I was watching Erica tear up. I was thinking about Jeff saying he's watching football. Sunday Night Football is the best, and he stopped to watch this. And I was like, what is it, this huge demo that she pulls in? And it's because she talks about like really fighting for your happiness, because when you talk about leaving a partner that's not good for you, sometimes it's kind of easy. They're abusive physically, mentally, and you just need to figure out the logistics in leaving. But sometimes when you're talking about change and moving on, it's gray and it's murky, and it's like, I still love them, but it's not right. This doesn't feel right. I feel like I want more, but do I want to blow my life up, blow my kids up? What's my mom going to say? So it's this give and pull, and everybody has it. When it's just like, oh, they hit me, well, yeah, let's go. Right. But when it's gray, it's so much more difficult, and she finds a way to illuminate that, and it was just, there's a beauty.
And they still love each other, right? She said that she and Simon live right across the street from one another.
Great. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, I also appreciated that she talked about how she thought things were going to be and being unable to break from that idea. She didn't want to get married and have children and then split up, and that was very important to her. And when you go into a union, like, or, you know, a commitment like marriage, and there's a thing that you're like, this will never be the way that it is for me, and then you realize, no, this is the road to the way that I thought I never wanted it to be. It does get very gray. I think, you know, when I went through my divorce, it was very much a situation where we looked at each other and said, we're going to end this now before we destroy each other, because that was what we were going to do out of love. That wasn't something that, you know, a lot of people, there has to be a villain, there has to be somebody who was right and someone who was wrong. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think when you make a commitment, especially in front of your community, your circle, you feel like you're not just divorcing a person, you're divorcing your entire life.
Right.
So for her to spell it out the way that she did, I think it's going to be very freeing to a lot of people.
Amen. And Jeff, what else spoke to you? Because she brought up her father, she brought up alcoholism, her weight, the pressure of people when she did lose the weight, anxiety.
Well, I thought one thing that caught my eye and probably other people's was the symbolism. She had the Saturn on her arm, and her earrings were Saturn.
And she was at the planetarium.
At the planetarium, right? So I looked up what it meant, and Saturn returns to its home every 30 years, or between 28 and 32 years. 30 is her album. She's 33, so I'm thinking this is a symbol for her. It's a rebirth, right? She's moving forward. She's not just talking about crying, about relationships in the past. You know who I'm talking about because we're going to talk about her in a little bit. I'm not even going to say her name, but she's moving forward. She's singing about things that broke her, and I always say the things that make you better in life are the things that you fail at, whether it be marriage, whether it be your sobriety, whatever it is. It's not a bad thing. It's a tool to make you better, and that's what she's portraying. That's why I think people are captivated by it, and that's why people are inspired by her.
Wow, I can't believe that you unpacked the whole symbolism of that, but that's
Sherlock Holmes.
Big Jeff isn't as shallow as everyone assumes.
Oh man, we're going to continue to talk about Adele in the break, so make sure that you guys tune in because there's a lot more Adele. Go to our YouTube, and we're going to tackle some of the other issues that were brought up. We'll be right back.
The scars of your love, they leave me breathless. I can't help feeling we could have played it all, broken in the deep.
Closed captioning provided by
Okay.
No way, she won't remember me.
So we're talking.
Okay, that's cool.
We're talking about the big holiday food fight, but those are our last two questions. That's what she's promoting. The first two, we're gonna actually ask her about Jackie, Harry from Sister Sister. They've been dubbed lookalikes, and there's actually a story behind it. So, but they actually are friends now, but they did not like each other back then.
Because they were always pit against each other.
So you're gonna ask her why. So that's the first one.
And it's Jackie.
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 It's in there. It's in the script like that, but it's Jackie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then Erica, you're gonna ask her just like about the holidays. What's the craziest thing that's happened, like family-wise and around the holidays with her family? And then we'll ask. You guys are both asking about the show.
I like my
and
question,
We'll cross to it at the end, and we'll be good.
Okay.
So I love this. I love like the behind the scenes where we don't even. Are we done?
Oh, we're still on.
Okay, so like we don't even have to talk. That's what got me interested in television. Was like when they would do outtakes or like you'd see the shot of behind the camera. You know, so that's what I'm like, wow, what are those people doing behind the camera? What's going on there? That's what got me interested in like doing that. And then when I go to set or watch something, I'd be so excited, like, oh my God, look at that guy. It's the guy who moves the cameras. Then I find out it's just Rob. But it's like all that excited me.
Have you seen Scenes from a Marriage?
No.
I watched
So
the first episode.
in Scenes from a Marriage with Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac, they show what's happening before the shot is actually taken. So you see everyone moving around, like you see the cameras, you see everything, and then they take you into the scene, and it's pretty fascinating.
Wow, what's it called?
He was like my
Scenes from a Marriage.
It's on HBO.
This November, don't miss a minute of DBL.
I cannot wait.
You want to play it safe? Nah, girl, we want to know.
You don't feel like that's a little bit weird?
No. I got to agree with Tori here.
Hey, stop. I don't want to hear it.
Here's how I feel. Okay, stop.
I know.
You mean like hooligans?
Is the hooligan problem under control?
There's no such thing as ghosts. I'm talking about.
We're off to a good start. DBL is always all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. It is the most wonderful time of the year. In fact, Jeff's already decorated for Christmas.
Absolutely.
Snow, mistletoe, and the most delicious family recipes. And to help us get into the holiday spirit, please welcome the lovely Kim Whitley.
Yeah.
Look at, and she decorated too, you guys.
I'm ready to go.
I know. So she's going to be chatting all things holiday on the upcoming show, The Big Holiday Food Fight. So Kim, before we get into everything holiday, let's talk about, a lot of our viewers actually wrote in about this, about your celebrity lookalike, Jackie Harry. Now, what they may not know is that you guys are really good friends, but you said in the past that she did not like you back then. Why is that?
Oh my God, I love the picture. Well, this is the thing. You know, I was young. I came into Hollywood when she was at the height of her career. And I look at it like if somebody came in right now looking like me, coming on the set, you know, I might be a little intimidated. But, you know, it was a rocky road at first because we didn't know each other. And it's true, I wasn't trying to take her place, but I wanted to be in her place. I wanted to be where she was. And, but we're friends now. We laugh about it. You know, and that's why I always wear my hair lighter. So people, because when I wear it dark, it is absolutely Jack A. Jack A knows, she says the same thing. When people come up and say, can I take a picture? We just agree. We don't argue with people anymore. We sign autographs.
Right.
It's too much.
That's smart. Just roll with it, right?
Right. She said she's even gotten some dates.
Oh, okay. First of all, I love that y'all are friends now because there's enough room at the table for all of us, sis. I am so excited to talk to you right now. I just love you, okay? Now, the holidays.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is everything. The holidays bring out the best and the worst in all of us. I know it does for my family. So what's the craziest thing that happened to your family during the holidays?
I don't think I can talk about that right now. There's so many, because there's emotions, there's so much going on during the holidays. But I think, one time we went skiing, during the holidays, and my brother, he skis, but he didn't. We were young, but he decided to go up on one of those jumps, those little jump things. He's not a professional skier. What's wrong with you? He jumps off one of those things, lands straight on his face, and he's just laying there. And we're all like, what's wrong with him? We go over and we pick him up, and he lets out, he just, he said he couldn't breathe until we lifted him up. He's about to die. So he will never do that. Craziness.
Wow. Kim, I could relate to the look-like thing. Everyone's like, are you John Stamos? And I'm like, here, just, here, I'm John Stamos.
Okay.
But let's talk about your show.
That's a humble brag, a very humble brag.
Let's talk about your show, the big holiday.
I was thinking George Clooney. I was really thinking
that would have been a humble brag. But listen, John Stamos, I mean.
Come on.
It's just a good one. Let's talk about the big holiday food fight. Tell us about the celebrity judges. Who was the naughtiest and who was the nicest?
Oh, well, the naughtiest judge of all was James Wright Chanel. If people don't know who he is, but you think about Patty Pies, he went viral by singing about Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pies. He is so funny and so good. He can sing, he can cook. He was the naughtiest. Gina Neely, fantastic. Yes. She's a real chef. And then Darnell Ferguson, super chef, another real chef. And then there's me, who can't cook at all, but I can eat.
That's okay, Kim. I can't cook either. Well, we are so excited for the big holiday food fight. In fact, to our viewers, it premieres tomorrow night on OWN. Thank you so much, Kim. We're huge fans over here. If you're ever in Denver, come join us. We love you. Happy holidays.
I will. Thank you so much. I'm a fan, too. Why my hands look so big?
Bye, Kim. Bye. We'll be right back.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Back to DBL. Abby Furness is a 22-year-old dancer, singer, fire breather, and model whose nightmare ordeal with a stalker began on her birthday. How she became the object of one man's fixation for years, and the toll it took on her career, her life, and her health. That is today's edition of Obsessed.
I was in lockdown at my mum's and dad's house, and then I got a message from a man on my OnlyFans that said to me, "Happy birthday, can I drop a gift over to you?" So I said to Jamie, the stalker, I said, "No, you can't come." A few hours later, he turned up at my mum's and dad's house with a bottle of Prosecco and a card, and I was so confused. He asked if I could have a selfie and a hug. So I gave him a hug, we had a selfie, and then he left. My dad said that we needed to phone the police. The police took some statements from me, but I had a contract to work in Spain like 2 days later. They said, "Go to Spain, we'll keep an eye on him." So I left and I went to Ibiza, and then maybe 7 days in, when I was in a bar, I got a message from Jamie saying that he was in Ibiza, and I thought he was just trying to scare me. But I looked over across from the bar and I saw Jamie sitting on a bench staring at me. I'm so angry with him because he has completely changed me as a person. I have worries that I have never had before, or like anxiety that I'd never felt before. And that is all because of this one guy. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I used to have really bad nightmares, but they're much better now. I moved out of my house and I live in a different house now. And he's in prison, so I feel so much safer. I feel like kind of like half of me is dead.
Earlier, we spoke with Abby about her harrowing ordeal. Here's what she had to say. Walk us through this, and perhaps some of our viewers watching, you'll be of some help to them. What was it like coming face to face with your stalker, not once, but over and over again?
It was honestly so terrifying. I think from the moment it started, I was so confused, and then it just got worse and worse and worse, and the feeling got scarier and scarier as the situation grew.
It's so terrifying. I want to know how this obsession, and I say that purposely, with you affected your relationship with your friends and everything, but especially with your boyfriend. How did that work, that dynamic?
Honestly, he actually didn't think I was telling the truth at the beginning.
Wow.
Because the story is so dramatic, he just thought I was a drama queen. And it made me feel really awful because the closest person to me, my boyfriend, didn't believe me.
The nature of your job means that you always have to put yourself out there. How did having a stalker impact your work? Did you want to shy away from the public eye?
So at the beginning, while I was being stalked, like from day one, I tried to continue as normal, trying to just get my life back, be the same Abby that I was. And then as the stalking increased, I literally just lost all my motivation. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to do any of my dancing or fire breathing work. I felt disgusting that a guy has fallen in love with me because of this.
All right, he's in prison. First off, let's all have a round of applause. But I want to know what your emotions are. Right. I mean, really, how do you feel about the entire ordeal? Now that you can step back a little, Abby, how are you feeling? Walk us through those emotions.
I feel very safe. I feel very relieved as well. Not just for myself, but for my family and friends. But I still feel like I'm stuck, like I'm trapped. I still don't feel like everything's over.
You know he's not going to be in prison forever. So what are you worried about? Do you think that he'll come after you again, especially now that you've spoken out about him? Like, how are you feeling about this countdown to his release?
Honestly, I'm so scared. I actually think he likes me talking out about it, which I didn't realize at the beginning. He just wants me to think about him all the time.
Oh, wow.
He's relapsed, and I thought it would stop after the first time he went into prison. But it's happened, this is like his third time in prison now. I just don't think he'll ever stop.
By you speaking out, that courage is going to help one of our viewers. Just know that we will continue to follow your journey, and we will continue to be on your side, okay? And you are a brave young woman. We appreciate you.
Heck yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
We are always here, and we appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020, and more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is Connecting the Dots.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Taylor Swift performs her 10-minute song on SNL and teases a new project with Blake Lively. We'll tell you what we know about that collab. And Britney Spears says goodbye to her conservatorship, what her life might look like on the other side. Stay with us.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Erica. Okay, lots to celebrate because Britney Spears finally free. In fact, on Friday, a judge ended Britney's 13-year conservatorship. Britney posted this video on social media with the caption, "Finally free." She also thanked her fans who celebrated with confetti and cheers outside the courthouse. Her fiance, Sam, posted a video on Instagram celebrating in the car on the way to dinner. Now, some of Britney's famous pals, like Paris Hilton, congratulated her on social media. Lady Gaga posted a pic of them from the VMAs writing, quote, "You never deserved what happened. Thank God for today." And actress Jamila Jamil wrote, quote, "We have to protect her from the paparazzi and tabloid media who are determined to drive her back into this same mess." Erica, where do we go from here? Are you also worried about, now that she'll be free from her conservatorship, that all eyes are going to be on her?
Well, I think the Protect Britney is very interesting, and I think she's absolutely right in terms of paparazzi. However, people need to be very vigilant about the takers who seemingly always gravitate towards her. She's one of those people that people are always going to look for to what can I get out of her. So if they're for her inner circle, and I pray that she has a great inner circle that will fiercely try to protect her. If there is even one person that's dangling around the area, like, ask them what they're doing there and what their intentions are, because I really think that was the catalyst to a lot of it from the beginning.
Listen, I'm happy for her. I think everybody's happy for her, but I think there are concerns. It's just natural. I don't know her personally, but just looking, if we play that video again, if you use this as a meme to celebrate a 13-year conservatorship about a moment in time in your life, would this caption that?
It's strange.
It wouldn't for me, right? You wouldn't post this, be like, "Hey, 10 years sober," and put that as your meme. So there is a disconnect there. Something's off. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just saying what I feel.
I know, yeah, and I appreciate, because I feel like it's coming from a place of love. And sometimes when you're coming from a place of love, you have to say difficult things. It's easy to say, "Good for Britney, next story." But when you really do care, I mean, I think something bigger can come out of this. You think about, like, an Amber Alert. Unfortunately, that was a young woman that was kidnapped and taken away. But now it's a thing that's lived on past her life to help save other children. And I hope maybe we can do this with the Britney thing, where now we have, like, Britney's Law, where we protect young people that have a ton of money and are too young to make their own decisions and can't control who their circle is and who's in it and who's outside of it.
Right.
So maybe this Free Britney movement can be bigger than it is already.
I think it will be. I really do. And I hope it does. And to your point, Jeff, I think, you know, perhaps maybe some of her quote unquote, because I'm not a clinician, odd behavior is the repercussions from being under the thumb of her parents or her dad for so long, right? So yes, I hope that she moves on, is happy, but I hope that she also puts her mental health front and center, like all of us do. I'm not singling out Britney Spears. We all need to do that. So, and to Erica's point, she needs to keep that inner circle tight. Okay, so Taylor Swift performed the extended version of her song All Too Well on SNL over the weekend. She also played the short film based on the song in the background. Take a look. She is so talented. But Taylor isn't done yet. Today, she also dropped the video for her new song, I Bet You Think About Me, directed and co-written by her good friend Blake Lively. Watch.
I don't have to be your shrink to know that you'll never be happy. And I bet you think about me.
Ooh, fans were quick to suggest that this revenge song is also about her ex, Jake Gyllenhaal, who she dated back in 2010. What do you think about this, Erica?
Well, actually, Jeff has been waiting so long.
No.
I'm just gonna allow him to take the floor because
this is not my time to shine about Taylor Swift. But I'm saying, if you compare what Adele just did and put her song and then play Taylor Swift's song, what are we talking about here? Adele's talking about packing up all of her feelings and the weight loss and the alcoholism and moving forward, right? She's going back 10 years, re-recording old things about Jake Gyllenhaal when she was 20. Like, I'm disconnected a little bit. And who's her people, by the way, that put out her album the same time Adele's coming out with this special? Because in comparison,
I think maybe her people feel like these are two different audiences. And I get it. People are going to think that we're attacking Taylor Swift. First of all, I would never. I think she serves a purpose for a lot of people. A lot of people get a lot of inspiration from her. Super talented artist, took control of her career. Props to all that. But I do look at this as like, you know, she's college and Adele is grad school. Right now, Adele is talking about very difficult, gray, murky things. And I think Taylor Swift is talking about a period in your life where you're just like, I'm unhappy with this person, or I'm unhappy with how this ended, and both can be true. I just think Taylor Swift is talking about a different earlier point in her life, and that's why we're talking about something from 2010. It just doesn't seem like this is meant to relate to people maybe our age, but maybe 23-year-olds that have broken up in college, it does.
I think they both, because just like I got emotional about the Adele or watching Adele, it's because it brought me back to the specific time in my life. So when we're looking at it, I think 10 minutes for the song to, you know, be an extension is also symbolic of someone who's singing about a time in their life in reflection mode, which is what a lot of us hear as fans. So I do think that they're two completely different veins. I do think that there's enough room and there's a big enough table for both of them to coexist. But I think at the root of it, it is nostalgia for both.
I agree with Erica.
Why do you have to just say,
I
can't you just say I agree
I said it
instead of like, I agree with you guys? Why'd you cut Jeff and I out?
I just thought that she summed it up really well.
So Jeff and I, we just could have left for this segment?
How many times do you and Jeff agree with you two? And if I agree with Jeff, I say I agree with Jeff. Stop it. We're going to the next story. I thought Erica summed it up really well.
I'm with Al.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Have you ever lied about watching a popular TV show? If so, guess what? You're not alone. According to a poll by Radio Times, more than half of people say they've lied about watching the latest TV shows like Schitt's Creek. The royal drama The Crown was the fourth most lied about show. People also lied about following the saga of Walter White in Breaking Bad. 10% of people polled said they lied about watching Game of Thrones, and the most lied about TV show, Stranger Things. 14% of people said they watched the Netflix show when in reality they had not. not. Have you guys ever lied about a TV show or a movie, Star Wars, nothing?
But I understand why people do.
Yes.
Because I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Neither did I.
Never got into it. And when I said it, especially in the height of the popularity, people acted like I should be excommunicated from the earth. Like, so I can understand people just being like, yeah, I watched it too. Like, I get it.
I think the survey's the other way, right? They watched it and they're lying about it. Is
No,
that
they
what you
never
got?
watched it. They're pretending that, oh yeah, I saw Schitt's Creek, it's hilarious.
That makes a little more sense because I'm like, who are you serving?
Have you ever just in the
mental hospital?
midst of a conversation just been like, yeah, I watched that just to like partake in it, or no?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes more sense.
Which
like,
show?
If I just don't want to talk to somebody anymore, I'm like, yeah, I've been there. It's fantastic.
But I just feel like
I've been to Paris.
I don't think that you can now because everybody is such a super fan that if you say you watch it, they're not going to go, oh, cool. They're going to be like, what'd you think in season 3 with that character arc? Like, people are like real connoisseurs of the shows. Like, you couldn't like I couldn't tell you I've seen Schitt's Creek, and I haven't, because you would go crazy. Like, you know everything about the show.
Right.
I don't think you can lie anymore.
Have you ever lied about saying you saw a movie or a TV show to fit in? Ever? Even in high school?
Oh yeah, definitely, because
Like
that was
what?
like a little bit of social currency. So
Yeah.
especially like going to see an R-rated movie, be like, oh, I went and saw Boys in the Hood. But it's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
I was right on.
Yeah.
And you just say everything that's in the trailer. Yeah, that's how you get around that.
Did you ever get caught lying?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No,
I was
for that.
I don't know. You're asking me to go back 30 years on the spot on live TV, so I'm not sure.
I watched Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think
was that R-rated or close?
Yeah, and I was probably like, I don't know, I was too young to watch it at the time. My mom never let me watch it at the time, but I remember at school some kids did, and I remember being like, oh yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that's super common.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they knew I didn't watch it because as they were talking about it, it was pretty clear I had no idea.
You're just nodding like, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, coming up on DBL, writing her first song at just 5 years old. Oh my gosh, you guys, there she is. Debbie Gibson joins us live right after the break. She already has her Christmas decorations up.
love
Go,
that.
Debbie.
Tree.
Closed captioning provided by
We are talking Christmas trees. We were looking at Debbie Gibson's background, and she's got a pink Christmas tree. And I was like, oh, if you're going to get a fake tree, go all in with a crazy color. And then you said,
we have 3 trees up in our house, but let me explain, okay? So again, we just got a house, but it's kind of a symbolic of where we came from. I still have this small Charlie Brown Christmas tree of Jordan and I's first Christmas together.
That's awesome.
And Jordan didn't want to put that up. So we have a new tree that we bought last year, and then Jordan wanted to get a smaller white one, like a little fancier for the living room, right? So I'm like, I'm putting up the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and I put that up in the basement just for me because it's symbolic about where we came from. So that's why there's 3, and yes, they're already up.
I love it. Erica?
We did 2 trees last year. Kind of similar, but we have a white tree that I had to have in our old place, so we put that up in our bedroom. And then we can have a real tree because we're not in a condo anymore, so we get a real tree for the living room. And then generally the tree that we couldn't have a real tree for, we'll put in the basement. So we'll end up.
Have 3?
We'll see what my family. So my family comes for Thanksgiving, and so I like to have a Christmas decorating party to get everybody in on the decoration.
Am I sitting with 2 people that have 6 Christmas trees between them?
Yep.
Erica, I'm going to tell you something about the live Christmas tree that I just learned. Do you know how common it is with live Christmas trees to have a sack of baby spiders come out? It's very common. In fact,
what's the
if anybody
percentage?
could Google, my phone never works in here, but if somebody could Google it.
Hey, could someone Google spider sack?
Yeah. Some weird fantasy she's going to come up.
You have it in there in your house for 6 weeks. And if it's right around the time that spiders, I guess, give birth or have babies. Yes! She became an international star before her high school graduation. Let's be honest, you can't talk about music of the 80s and 90s without her in it. Please welcome to DBL the amazingly talented Debbie Gibson.
Put her name on it, yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hi.
Wow, and you look fantastic. Hey. Wow. Before we talk about your new music, which is incredible, you never disappoint, let's talk about your amazing mom. Some say Kris Jenner is the first momager, but no. Your mom is the OG, right?
Diane Gibson, can I say badass on this program?
Yes.
She has always been a badass. I mean, you know, she was like fresh out of the kitchen with the rolling pin and the gray roots and the bad perm, and was like, I'm going to figure this out. Because she said to me, you know, you're going to do this with or without me. You're going to have this career with or without me. I want to help you. I want to support you. I want to make this easier for you. And she had just the right amount of like healthy insanity to do it, because, you know, I started my career playing clubs. I was 16 years old, couldn't go in the front door, but could go in the back door. And she would go, kids, wait in the car, because there was me, 2 dancers, and my 21-year-old sister doing sound and lights. Hi, Karen. And she would go, wait in the car. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, come and get me. Because she never let me go on a club stage, or any stage for that matter, without getting the money up front.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, and she was like 40, you know, like, and she had four daughters, and she was juggling, you know, marriage and kids and her, you know, career before she was managing me. And anyway, it's such a fascinating story. Her story is more fascinating than my story, in my opinion.
And
wow.
I was going to say, like, we have to talk, like, first of all, think about this. Your mom did everything that she did for you without the internet. There was no Google to say, what do I do with my daughter's career? How do I market? Or she just figured it out. That's old school ingenuity. I love it.
Exactly. There was no map. There was no map. And I still tell, you know, young talent today, like, because I love to mentor young talent, and people are always looking for that map. There she is. Aww. They're looking for that map, and I'm like, everyone's got their own path to forge, and it's really kind of like a breadcrumb trail, and you just have to trust your gut. And she did, and she learned what she had to learn in a very street smart kind of way.
Well, I mean, speaking of street smart, she had to do something crazy to get you noticed. Like, do you remember anything? What got you noticed? What did she do?
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you the funniest story that I've like not thought about since then, and this did not end up working. But like, I remember she took me to Westbury Music Fair to see Bob Hope, and she goes, bring him flowers and stick a demo in the flowers. So Bob Hope did not sign me on to do his USO tours, but I full on ran down the aisle at Westbury Music Fair with flowers with a demo tape.
That's amazing.
Because my mom, you know, and listen, it's like she wasn't like the stage mom in the bad sense of the word, but there is a little stage mother, I think, in every mother. Like every soccer mom in a way is a stage mom. You know, like everybody wants their kid to succeed. So we had a lot of fun doing crazy things. But really, it was about Atlantic Records taking a chance on me and us getting me into the clubs. I would play a straight club, a teen club, and a gay club every night. Like I would play from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Hustle.
Wow.
3 or 4 nights a week.
I love it.
Yeah. We were hustling.
Yes. Well, girl, let's talk about when family and business don't work. Because after 13 years, Britney Spears has finally broken free of her father's conservatorship. What are your thoughts on this news, and to get people to further understand as we're all learning about what went into this in real time?
I mean, you know, look, I wasn't there. I met Britney a few times. She was always super lovely and professional. And I love that people have been rooting for her this whole time. They always say America loves a great comeback. And this is like the comeback story of all time. But, you know, you said the key thing. It doesn't always work. I think when you get involved with family and business, you have to know that there are these risks. And at some point, unless you're going to be in business forever, look, my mom and I are the best of friends now, but we went through a divorce of sorts. It's very tricky. There are a lot of dynamics. And I know that you guys were commenting earlier, you know, like on her Instagram posts and stuff like that. I say if she's dancing in a midriff top or whatever got her through the day, it got her through the day. And let's hope that now she does get the counseling she needs, because she's been a prisoner for 13 years. You know, I mean, I have a therapist on speed dial anyway, because teen stardom is trippy. Yeah, I mean, life is trippy, right? But like, when your little teenage brain is not wired to understand business, and so, you know, and finances and all of that. And I feel like every teen artist should have someone who puts a big sum of money that they don't even know they have aside for them for when they're old enough to comprehend, because there are people leeching and spending for you, and you're trusting, and so, you know, there are a lot of pitfalls. I'm very lucky I turned out okay, but it's not without a lot of twists and turns and diligence. And like I said, I can only hope that Britney's future is now bright. I think everyone's been just hoping that for her, and I'm so thrilled for her.
A little insight from Debbie Gibson. I love it. Quickly, before we go, let's talk about my favorite time of year, Debbie. Christmas. I noticed your tree's up. You just released this single, Christmas Star. Now tell us where you got the inspiration. Where did this come from?
You know, it's been kind of a message I've been talking about all year with my original music, and that is, don't just sit around wishing and hoping for great things to happen. Like, be that change you want to see and be that change you want to be. And that's really what it's about. And that line about forgiving the past and just move on, there's so many things polarizing people these days. I think it's time for no judgment, kindness, forgiveness. Holidays are a fresh start, in my opinion, and that's really the feeling of the song. It's a very optimistic song.
Oh, we all need it. We really do.
Absolutely.
Debbie's new single, Christmas Star, is streaming right now. Also, you guys have to check out her album, The Body Remembers. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Girl.
Thank you. And before we go to break, here's a first listen to Debbie's new holiday hit, Christmas Star.
Little boy blue, let's turn it around. Live life like you're in a Hallmark town this Christmas.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Dancing with the Stars judge Carrie Ann Inaba joins us live. She's dishing on Madonna's top rules for her dancers. And on an all-new True Crime Chronicles, a Texas man vanishes without a trace. What happened to Eotis Harris III?
This is the first news conference I've done. I have done nothing in my own city. They turned me down.
That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. So last year, shoppers spent $9 million on Black Friday, and scammers are banking on this. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. One of the Black Friday scams we want you to be aware of is a refund scam. Scammers are sending out text messages and emails saying you're eligible for a refund on a product you never actually purchased. So the purpose behind this is to get you to share your credit card information. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-419-0131 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020, and more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is connecting the dots.
Minute of DBL.
You agree with this, or you are going to lose your job.
That's a slap in the face.
You're messing with people's lives here.
None of that matters.
Album, yes, it does.
Hey, verse it. Okay. $200.
Things can get heated.
That was dramatic.
But it's all good.
Big Jeff got out of the cage a little bit.
Big T-Bone did too. We're good.
Because we're family.
Boom.
Al, thanks for getting my back in there, buddy.
Thanks, Al.
DBL is always all new every day.
I'm loving these promos.
I know.
I really do.
We can go at it.
Yeah.
But then we can kiss and make up.
Yeah.
I don't know about kissing, but okay. Okay, but somebody who really is looking for all the love. Melissa says, Debbie Gibson.
I know.
I grew up on her songs. It's still on my music rotation. I'm dying right now. Between the Lines pulls on my heartstrings so much. And Carol says, love Debbie and her Christmas decor. She seems so real and
She
so
really
cool.
does seem so real.
Any comments about me?
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, everybody. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great Monday, everybody.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Adele shines in her primetime special and bears her soul to Oprah. The reason for her divorce and surprising details about her weight loss journey. A woman's life spirals after an internet follower stalks her for years. Will she ever feel safe again?
I feel kind of like half of me is dead.
And joining us live today, comedian Kim Whitley and 80s pop icon Debbie Gibson.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll. Hello, and thank you, Adele, for that beautiful song. Welcome to DBL. It is Monday, November 15th. I am Sam with Al, Jeff, and Erica. All right. Did you all see Adele's big concert special last night? Dressed, let's look at the picture. There she is in that gorgeous black gown. Adele performed at Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles. It was in front of an intimate crowd of the very famous, if you noticed. Adele was promoting her new album 30, which is all about her divorce. And the night also featured a surprise proposal. Spoiler alert, she did say yes. And check out how she was shocked when the lights came up to reveal Adele was there, who then serenaded the couple. Adele also sat down with Oprah, and throughout the night, we learned some new details about her weight loss, her relationship with her father, and of course, more about her divorce from her ex, Simon. Take a look.
It was when I admitted to my own friends who thought I was really happy that actually I'm really unhappy, and they all gasped, like, you know, I feel like it was sort of from there that I was like, what am I doing? The same drive as staying in a relationship, even though you're not happy and you do it for the kids. I think it's as loving as doing that for the kids by leaving and you know, finding your own happiness so that they really know who you are.
And Adele also sang a few of her new songs from her album, including the single Easy on Me. Take a listen.
I changed who I was to put you down first, but now I give up. Go easy on me, baby.
Oh, that shot alone is just like cinematography, like goals. 10 million people tuned in. So this is like Erica's crying already.
I'm not crying. I just got teary-eyed.
Yeah.
I'm not crying. You're
break
crying.
it all down. We're gonna break this all down because this was the special of all specials. It felt like appointment television. What did you think of it generally?
Well, I forgot it was on. I was watching Sunday Night Football, right? Like,
absolutely.
Yeah. So and I was like, oh, Adele's thing's on. I flipped over at the perfect time, right? The sun was going down, the sky was pink and purple, the Hollywood sign was in the background. She sounded phenomenal. I was captivated. She kept me in there, and I wanted to keep watching because it was like you said, the DP was praying right there.
Which
when he's like, the director of photography is like, wow, we got it. You know, because not all the time does it, I mean, it's always sunny in LA, right? But not all the time does it turn purple with that background and Adele's voice. I mean, it moved me, not as much as Erica. You're crying over here.
Yeah, well, I just got teary-eyed because, I mean, first, I've always talked about how during the really comeback year of my life, I got a record player, and my only record was Adele, and I would play that for months on end, just flipping it back and forth. And it really was, it was kind of a time in my life where I resonated with so much of what she was singing about, you know, that transition. And I love the idea of, you know, obviously the concert was beautiful, but also seeing her sit down with Oprah in the all white. It felt like this is a truth, you know, and bearing her soul, and then performing on that stage and being in all black and like really pouring her soul out. Like that aesthetic was so beautiful. Sam, I'm wondering how you felt about it because Mark proposed to you at that venue.
Yeah.
He did. It was like, I was emotional the whole time. Like if I had a box of tissues next to me, I didn't. I used my sweatshirt. But if I had a box of tissues next to me, it would have been gone within minutes. But yeah, that's where Mark proposed to me. So not only did I have a nostalgic, emotional pull just to that moment with my husband, but everything that she sang about just felt so relatable. And I feel like we've missed that. And every time on this show, we talk about award shows or we talk about celebrities, there's always viewers or us bringing up the fact that it just doesn't feel relatable anymore, that there's some sort of a disconnect between like the elite and everybody else. For some reason, Adele has bridged that gap when she brought up her divorce, when she brought up the alcoholism. Let's first start, because I know that we have all these different beats here that we want to get to. What did you think about her talking about divorce and how she felt embarrassed that her marriage didn't work out?
Well, I think, because I was sitting here and I was watching Erica tear up. I was thinking about Jeff saying he's watching football. Sunday Night Football is the best. And he stopped to watch this. And I was like, what is it, this huge demo that she pulls in? And it's because she talks about like really fighting for your happiness, because when you talk about leaving a partner that's not good for you, sometimes it's kind of easy. They're abusive physically, mentally, and you just need to figure out the logistics in leaving. But sometimes when you're talking about change and moving on, it's gray and it's murky and it's like, I still love them, but it's not right. This doesn't feel right. I feel like I want more, but do I want to blow my life up, blow my kids up? What's my mom going to say? So it's this give and pull, and everybody has it. When it's just like, oh, they hit me, well, yeah, let's go. Right. But when it's gray, it's so much more difficult, and she finds a way to illuminate that, and it was just, there's a beauty.
And they still love each other, right? She said that she and Simon live right across the street from one another.
Great. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, I also appreciated that she talked about how she thought things were going to be and being unable to break from that idea. She didn't want to get married and have children and then split up, and that was very important to her. And when you go into a union, like, or, you know, a commitment like marriage, and there's a thing that you're like, this will never be the way that it is for me, and then you realize, no, this is the road to the way that I thought I never wanted it to be. It does get very gray. I think, you know, when I went through my divorce, divorce, it was very much a situation where we looked at each other and said, we're going to end this now before we destroy each other, because that was what we were going to do out of love. That wasn't something that, you know, a lot of people, there has to be a villain, there has to be somebody who was right and someone who was wrong. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think when you make a commitment, especially in front of your community, your circle, you feel like you're not just divorcing a person, you're divorcing your entire life.
Right.
So for her to spell it out the way that she did, I think it's going to be very freeing to a lot of people.
Amen. And Jeff, what else spoke to you? Because she brought up her father, she brought up alcoholism, her weight, the pressure of people when she did lose the weight, anxiety.
Well, I thought one thing that caught my eye and probably other people's was the symbolism. She had the Saturn on her arm and her earrings were Saturn.
And she was at the planetarium.
At the planetarium, right? So I looked up what it meant, and Saturn returns to its home every 30 years, or between 28 and 32 years. 30 is her album, she's 33, so I'm thinking this is a symbol for her. It's a rebirth, right? She's moving forward. She's not just talking about crying, about relationships in the past. You know who I'm talking about, because we're going to talk about her in a little bit. I'm not even going to say her name, but she's moving forward. She's singing about things that broke her, and I always say the things that make you better in life are the things that you fail at, whether it be marriage, whether it be your sobriety, whatever it is. It's not a bad thing. It's a tool to make you better, and that's what she's portraying. That's why I think people are captivated by it, and that's why people are inspired by her.
Wow, I can't believe that you unpacked the whole symbolism of that, but that's
Sherlock Holmes.
Big Jeff isn't as shallow as everyone assumes.
Oh man, we're going to continue to talk about Adele in the break, so make sure that you guys tune in because there's a lot more Adele. Go to our YouTube and we're going to tackle some of the other issues that were brought up. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Okay.
No way, she won't remember me.
So we're talking. We're talking about the big holiday food fight, but those are our last two questions. That's what she's promoting. The first two, we're gonna actually ask her about Jackie, Harry from Sister Sister. They've been dubbed lookalikes, and there's actually a story behind it.
Okay.
So, but they actually are friends now, but they did not like each other back then.
Because they were always pit against
So
each
you're
other,
gonna ask her why. So that's the first one.
And it's Jackie.
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 It's in there. It's in the script like that, but it's Jackie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then Erica, you're gonna ask her just like about the holidays. What's the craziest thing that's happened, like family-wise and around the holidays with her family? And then we'll ask. You guys are both asking about the show.
I like my
and
question,
We'll cross to it at the end, and we'll be good. Okay.
So I love this. I love like the behind the scenes where we don't even. Are we done?
No, we're still on.
Okay, so like we don't even have to talk. That's what got me interested in television. Was like when they would do outtakes, or like you'd see the shot of behind the camera. You know, so that's what I'm like, wow, what are those people doing behind the camera? What's going on there? That's what got me interested in like doing that. And then when I go to set or watch something, I'd be so excited, and like, oh my God, look at that guy. It's the guy who moves the cameras, and I find out it's just Rob. But it's like all that excited me.
Have you seen Scenes from a Marriage?
No.
I watched the first episode.
In Scenes from a Marriage with Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac, they show what's happening before the shot is actually taken. So you see everyone moving around, like you see the cameras, you see everything, and then they take you into the scene, and it's pretty fascinating.
Wow, what's it called?
He was like my
Scenes from a Marriage.
It's on HBO.
This November, don't miss a minute of DBL.
I cannot wait.
You want to play it safe? Nah, girl, we want to know.
You don't feel like that's a little bit weird?
No. I got to agree with Tori here.
Hey, stop. I don't want to hear it.
Here's how I feel. Okay, stop.
I know.
You mean like hooligans?
Is the hooligan problem under control?
There's no such thing as ghosts.
We're off to a good start. DBL is always all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. It is the most wonderful time of the year. In fact, Jeff's already decorated for Christmas.
Absolutely.
Snow, mistletoe, and the most delicious family recipes. And to help us get into the holiday spirit, please welcome the lovely Kim Whitley.
Yeah.
and she decorated too, you guys.
I'm ready to go.
I know. So she's going to be chatting all things holiday on the upcoming show, The Big Holiday Food Fight. So Kim, before we get into everything holiday, let's talk about a lot of our viewers actually wrote in about this, about your celebrity lookalike, Jackée Harry. Now, what they may not know is that you guys are really good friends, but you said in the past that she did not like you back then. Why is that?
Oh my God, I love the picture. Well, this is the thing. You know, I was young. I came into Hollywood when she was at the height of her career. And I look at it like if somebody came in right now looking like me, coming on the set, you know, I might be a little intimidated. But, you know, it was a rocky road at first because we didn't know each other. And it's true, I wasn't trying to take her place, but I wanted to be in her place. I wanted to be where she was. And, but we're friends now. We laugh about it. You know, that's why I always wear my hair lighter. So people, because when I wear it dark, it is absolutely Jackée. Jackée knows, she says the same thing. When people come up and say, can I take a picture? We just agree. We don't argue with people anymore. We sign autographs.
Right.
It's too much.
That's smart. Just roll with it, right?
Right. She said she's even gotten some dates.
Okay. First of all, I love that y'all are friends now because there's enough room at the table for all of us, sis. I am so excited to talk to you right now. I just love you, okay? Now, the holidays.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is everything. The holidays bring out the best and the worst in all of us. I know it does for my family. So what's the craziest thing that happened to your family during the holidays?
I don't think I can talk about that right now. You know, there's so many, because there's emotions, there's so much going on during the holidays. But I think, you know, one time we went skiing, during the holidays, and my brother, he skis, but he didn't. We were young, but he decided to go up on one of those jumps, you know, those little jump things. He's not a professional skier. What's wrong with you? He jumps off one of those things, lands straight on his face, and he's just laying there. And we're all like, what's wrong with him? We go over and we pick him up, and he lets out, he just, he said he couldn't breathe until we lifted him up. He's about to die. So he will never do that. Craziness.
Wow. Kim, I could relate to the look-like thing. Everyone's like, are you John Stamos? And I'm like, here, I'm John Stamos.
Okay.
But let's talk about your show.
Humble brag, a very humble brag.
Let's talk about your show, The Big Holiday.
I was thinking George Clooney. I was really thinking
That would have been a humble brag. But listen, John Stamos, I mean.
Oh, come on.
It's just a good one. Let's talk about the big holiday food fight. Tell us about the celebrity judges. Who's the naughtiest and who was the nicest?
Oh, well, you know, the naughtiest judge of all was James Wright Chanel. If people don't know who he is, but you think about Patty Pies, he went viral by singing about Patti LaBelle's sweet potato pies. He is so funny and so good. He can sing, he can cook. He was the naughtiest. Gina Neely, fantastic. Yes. She's a real chef. And then Darnell Ferguson, super chef, another real chef. And then there's me, who can't cook at all, but I can eat.
That's okay, Kim. I can't cook either. Well, we are so excited for the big holiday food fight. In fact, to our viewers, it premieres tomorrow night on OWN. Thank you so much, Kim. We're huge fans over here. If you're ever in Denver, come join us. We love you. Happy holidays.
I will. Thank you so much. I'm a fan, too. Why my hands look so big?
Bye, Kim. Bye. We'll be right back.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, That stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Abby Furness is a 22-year-old dancer, singer, fire breather, and model whose nightmare ordeal with a stalker began on her birthday. How she became the object of one man's fixation for years, and the toll it took on her career, her life, and her health. That is today's edition of Obsessed.
I was in lockdown at my mum's and dad's house, and then I got a message from a man on my OnlyFans that said to me, "Happy birthday, can I drop a gift over to you?" So I said to Jamie, the stalker, I said, "No, you can't come." A few hours later, he turned up at my mum's and dad's house with a bottle of Prosecco and a card, and I was so confused. He asked if I could have a selfie and a hug. So I gave him a hug, we had a selfie, and then he left. My dad said that we needed to phone the police. The police took some statements from me, but I had a contract to work in Spain like 2 days later. They said, go to Spain, we'll keep an eye on him. So I left and I went to Ibiza, and then maybe 7 days in, when I was in a bar, I got a message from Jamie saying that he was in Ibiza, and I thought he was just trying to scare me. But I looked over across from the bar and I saw Jamie sitting on a bench staring at me. I'm so angry with him because he has completely changed me as a person. I have worries that I have never had before, or anxiety that I'd never felt before. And that is all because of this one guy. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I used to have really bad nightmares, but they're much better now. I moved out of my house and I live in a different house now. And he's in prison, so I feel so much safer. I feel kind of like half of me is dead.
Earlier, we spoke with Abby about her harrowing ordeal. Here's what she had to say. Walk us through this, and perhaps some of our viewers watching, you'll be of some help to them. What was it like coming face to face with your stalker, not once, but over and over again?
It was honestly so terrifying. I think from the moment it started, I was so confused, and then it just got worse and worse and worse, and the feeling got scarier and scarier as the situation grew.
It's so terrifying. I want to know how this obsession, and I say that purposely, with you affected your relationship with your friends and everything, but especially with your boyfriend. How did that work, that dynamic?
Honestly, he actually didn't think I was telling the truth at the beginning.
Wow.
Because the story is so dramatic, he just thought I was a drama queen. And it made me feel really awful because the closest person to me, my boyfriend, didn't believe me.
The nature of your job means that you always have to put yourself out there. How did having a stalker impact your work? Did you want to shy away from the public eye?
So at the beginning, while I was being stalked, like from day one, I tried to continue as normal, trying to just get my life back, be the same Abby that I was. And then as the stalking increased, I literally just lost all my motivation. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to do any of my dancing or fire breathing work. I felt disgusting that a guy has fallen in love with me because of this.
All right, he's in prison. First off, let's all have a round of applause. But I want to know what your emotions are. Right? I mean, really, how do you feel about the entire ordeal? Now that you can step back a little, Abby, how are you feeling? Walk us through those emotions.
I feel very safe. I feel very relieved as well. Not just for myself, but for my family and friends. But I still feel like I'm stuck, like I'm trapped. I still don't feel like everything's over.
You know he's not going to be in prison forever. So what are you worried about? Do you think that he'll come after you again, especially now that you've spoken out about him? Like, how are you feeling about this countdown to his release?
Honestly, I'm so scared. I actually think he likes me talking out about it, which I didn't realize at the beginning. He just wants me to think about him all the time.
Oh, wow.
He's relapsed, and I thought it would stop after the first time he went into prison. But it's happened, this is like his third time in prison now. I just don't think he'll ever stop.
By you speaking out, that courage is going to help one of our viewers. Just know that we will continue to follow your journey, and we will continue to be on your side, okay? And you are a brave young woman. We appreciate you.
Heck yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
We are always here, and we appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020, and more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is Connecting the Dots.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you're sticking around, here is what's coming up. Taylor Swift performs her 10-minute song on SNL and teases a new project with Blake Lively. We'll tell you what we know about that collab. And Britney Spears says goodbye to her conservatorship, what her life might look like on the other side. Stay with us.
Young kids 5 to 11 can now get the COVID vaccine, and parents have a whole new batch of concerns. Verify is here to help. Let's verify this question. Should a kid get a COVID vaccine if they're currently sick? We asked Andrea Berry, infectious disease pediatrician at the University of Maryland Children's Hospital, Dr. Kausar Talat, infectious disease physician at Johns Hopkins, and Dr. Donald Elsendor, an associate professor at Meharry Medical College, where he's involved in Moderna's clinical trial for kids. They're medical professionals, but they're also parents. Both Berry and Talat say they've already gotten the vaccine for their kids who are both 10 years old. And they all agree, if it's COVID, push off the appointment. If it's something severe, like the flu or a fever, again, push it off. But if it's something more mild, you can go ahead and get the vaccine.
If you've had a stomach ache from eating too much of something, again, that shouldn't stop you from getting the vaccine. If you've had sniffles, that should not stop you from getting a vaccine. And so what I'm saying is that the severity of illness should be a gauge for you getting the vaccine or not.
Of course, he says if you're concerned, you could always go talk to your pediatrician.
If there's a question, I would say just hold off. And I would say that we're really excited to be able to finally have a vaccine for this age group. And so we should basically walk, not run, to get vaccinated.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Erica. Okay, lots to celebrate because Britney Spears finally free. In fact, on Friday, a judge ended Britney's 13-year conservatorship. Britney posted this video on social media with the caption, "Finally free." She also thanked her fans who celebrated with confetti and cheers outside the courthouse. Her fiance Sam posted a video on Instagram celebrating in the car on the way to dinner. Now, some of Britney's famous pals like Paris Hilton congratulated her on social media. Lady Gaga posted a pic of them from the VMAs writing, quote, "You never deserved what happened. Thank God for today." And actress Jamila Jamil wrote, quote, "We have to protect her from the paparazzi and tabloid media who are determined to drive her back into this same mess." Erica, where do we go from here? Are you also worried about now that she'll be free from her conservatorship that all eyes are going to be on her?
Well, I think the Protect Britney is very interesting, and I think she's absolutely right in terms of paparazzi. However, people need to be very vigilant about the takers who seemingly always gravitate towards her. She's one of those people that people are always going to look for to what can I get out of her. So if they're for her inner circle, and I pray that she has a great inner circle that will fiercely try to protect her, if there is even one person that's dangling around the area, like, ask them what they're doing there and what their intentions are, because I really think that was the catalyst to a lot of it from the beginning.
Listen, I'm happy for her. I think everybody's happy for her, but I think there are concerns. It's just natural. I don't know her personally, but just looking, if we play that video again, if you use this as a meme to celebrate a 13-year conservatorship about a moment in time in your life, would this caption that?
It's strange.
It wouldn't for me, right? You wouldn't post this, be like, hey, 10 years sober, and put that as your meme. So there is a disconnect there. Something's off. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just saying what I feel.
I know, yeah, and I appreciate it because I feel like it's coming from a place of love. And sometimes when you're coming from a place of love, you have to say difficult things. It's easy to say, good for Britney, next story. But when you really do care, I mean, I think something bigger can come out of this. You think about like an Amber Alert. Unfortunately, that was a young woman that was kidnapped and taken away. But now it's a thing that's lived on past her life to help save other children. And I hope maybe we can do this with the Britney thing, where now we have like Britney's Law, where we protect young people that have a ton of money and are too young to make their own decisions and can't control who their circle is and who's in it and who's outside of it. So maybe this Free Britney movement can be bigger than it is already.
I think it will be. I really do, and I hope it does. And to your point, Jeff, I think, you know, perhaps maybe some of her quote unquote, because I'm not a clinician, odd behavior is the repercussions from being under the thumb of her parents or her dad for so long, right? So yes, I hope that she moves on, is happy, but I hope that she also puts her mental health front and center, like all of us do. I'm not singling out Britney Spears. We all need to do that. So, and to Erica's point, she needs to keep that inner circle tight. Okay, so Taylor Swift performed the extended version of her song, All Too Well, on SNL over the weekend. She also played the short film based on the song in the background. Take a look. She is so talented, but Taylor isn't done yet. Today, she also dropped the video for her new song, I Bet You Think About Me, directed and co-written by her good friend, Blake Lively. Watch.
I don't have to be your shrink to know that you'll never be happy, and I bet you think about me.
Ooh, fans were quick to suggest that this revenge song is also about her ex, Jake Gyllenhaal, who she dated back in 2010. What do you think about this, Erica?
Well, actually, Jeff has been waiting so long. I'm just going to allow him to take the floor because
listen, this is not my time to shine about Taylor Swift. But I'm saying, if you compare what Adele just did and put her song and then play Taylor Swift's song, what are we talking about here? Adele's talking about packing up all of her feelings and the weight loss and the alcoholism and moving forward, right? She's going back 10 years, re-recording old things about Jake Gyllenhaal when she was 20. Like, I'm disconnected a little bit. And who's her people, by the way, that put out her album the same time Adele's coming out with this special? Because in comparison,
I think maybe her people feel like these are two different audiences. And I get it. People are going to think that we're attacking Taylor Swift. First of all, I would never. I think she serves a purpose for a lot of people. A lot of people get a lot of inspiration from her. Super talented artist, took control of her career. Props to all that. But I do look at this as like, you know, she's college and Adele is grad school. Right now, Adele is talking about very difficult, gray, murky things. And I think Taylor Swift is talking about a period in your life where you're just like, I'm unhappy with this person, or I'm unhappy with how this ended, and both can be true. I just think Taylor Swift is talking about a different earlier point in her life, and that's why we're talking about something from 2010. It just doesn't seem like this is meant to relate to people maybe our age, but maybe 23-year-olds that have broken up in college, it does.
I think they both, because just like I got emotional about the Adele or watching Adele, it's because it brought me back to the specific time in my life. So when we're looking at it, I think 10 minutes for the song to, be an extension is also symbolic of someone who's singing about a time in their life in reflection mode, which is what a lot of us hear as fans. So I do think that they're two completely different veins. I do think that there's enough room and there's a big enough table for both of them to coexist. But I think at the root of it, it is nostalgia for both.
I agree with Erica.
Why do you have to just say,
why
can't you just say I agree
I said it
instead of like, I agree with you guys? Why'd you cut Jeff and I out?
I just thought that she summed it up really well.
So Jeff and I, we just could have left for this segment?
How many times do you and Jeff agree with you two? And if I agree with Jeff, I say I agree with Jeff. Stop it. We're going to the next story.
Once today.
I thought Erica summed it up really well.
I'm with Al.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Have you ever lied about watching a popular TV show? If so, guess what? You're not alone. According to a poll by Radio Times, more than half of people say they've lied about watching the latest TV shows like Schitt's Creek. The royal drama The Crown was the 4th most lied about show. People also lied about following the saga of Walter White in Breaking Bad. 10% of people polled said they lied about watching Game of Thrones, and the most lied about TV show, Stranger Things. 14% of people said they watched the Netflix show when in reality they had not. Have you guys ever lied about a TV show or a movie? Star Wars? Nothing?
But I understand why people do.
Yes.
Because I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Neither did I.
Never got into it. And when I said it, especially in the height of the popularity, people acted like I should be excommunicated from the earth. So I can understand people just being like, yeah, I watched it too. I get it.
I think the survey's the other way, right? They watched it and they're lying about it. Is
no,
that
they
what you
never
got?
watched it. They're pretending that, oh yeah, I saw Schitt's Creek, it's hilarious.
That makes a little more sense because I'm like, who are you serving?
Have you ever just in the midst of a conversation just been like, yeah, I watched that, just to partake in it, or no?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes more sense.
Which show?
If I just don't want to talk to somebody anymore, I'm like, yeah, I've been there. It's fantastic.
But I just feel like
I've been to Paris.
I don't think that you can now because everybody is such a super fan that if you say you watch it, they're not going to go, oh, cool. They're going to be like, what'd you think in season 3 with that character arc? Like, people are like real connoisseurs of the shows. Like, you couldn't I couldn't tell you I've seen Schitt's Creek, and I haven't, because you would go crazy. You know everything about the show.
Right.
I don't think you can lie anymore.
Have you ever lied about saying you saw a movie or a TV show to fit in? Ever? Even in high school?
Oh yeah, definitely, because that was a little bit of social currency.
Yeah.
So especially going to see an R-rated movie, be like, oh, I went and saw Boys in the Hood. But it's like, you didn't.
Yeah.
I was right on.
Yeah.
And you just say everything that's in the trailer. Yeah, that's how you get around that.
Did you ever get caught lying?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, for that.
I don't know. You're asking me to go back 30 years on the spot on live TV, so I'm not sure. Probably.
I watched Dirty Dancing.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think
was that R-rated or close?
Yeah, and I was probably I don't know. I was too young to watch it at the time. My mom never let me watch it at the time, but I remember at school some kids did, and I remember being like, oh yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that's super common.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they knew I didn't watch it because as they were talking about it, it was pretty clear I had no idea.
You're just nodding I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, coming up on DBL, writing her first song at just 5 years old. Oh my gosh, you guys, there she is. Debbie Gibson joins us live right after the break. She already has her Christmas decorations.
I love
Go, Debbie.
Tree.
Closed captioning provided by
We are talking Christmas trees. We were looking at Debbie Gibson's background. She's got a pink Christmas tree, and I was like, oh, if you're going to get a fake tree, go all in with a crazy color. And then you said...
We have 3 trees up in our house, but let me explain, okay? So again, we just got a house, but it's kind of a symbolic of where we came from. I still have this small Charlie Brown Christmas tree of Jordan and I's first Christmas together.
That's awesome.
And Jordan didn't want to put that up. So we have a new tree that we bought last year, and then Jordan wanted to get a smaller white one, like a little fancier for the living room, right? So I'm like, I'm putting up the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and I put that up in the basement just for me because it's symbolic about where we came from. So that's why there's 3, and yes, they're already up.
I love it.
Erica?
We did 2 trees last year. Kind of similar, but we have a white tree that I had to have in our old place. So we put that up in our bedroom. And then we can have a real tree because we're not in a condo anymore. So we get a real tree for the living room. And then generally the tree that we couldn't have a real tree for, we'll put in the basement. So we'll end up
3?
We'll see what my family. So my family comes for Thanksgiving, and so I like to have a Christmas decorating party to get everybody in on the decoration.
Am I sitting with 2 people that have 6 Christmas trees between them?
Yep.
Erica, I'm going to tell you something about the live Christmas tree that I just learned. Do you know how common it is with live Christmas trees to have a sack of baby spiders come out? It's very common. In fact, if anybody could Google, my phone never works in here, but if somebody could Google it.
Hey, could someone Google spider sack?
Yeah. Some weird fan fiction is going to come up.
You have it in there in your house for 6 weeks. And if it's right around the time that spiders, I guess, give birth or have babies. Yes! She became an international star before her high school graduation. Let's be honest, you can't talk about music of the 80s and 90s without her in it. Please welcome to DBL the amazingly talented Debbie Gibson.
Put her name on it, yes.
Hi, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hi. Wow, and you look fantastic. Hey. Wow. Before we talk about your new music, which is incredible, you never disappoint, let's talk about your amazing mom. Some say Kris Jenner is the first momager, but no. Your mom is the OG, right?
Diane Gibson, can I say badass on this program?
Yes.
She has always been a badass. I mean, you know, she was like fresh out of the kitchen with the rolling pin and the gray roots and the bad perm, and was like, I'm going to figure this out. Because she said to me, you know, you're going to do this with or without me. You're going to have this career with or without me. I want to help you. I want to support you. I want to make this easier for you. And she had just the right amount of like healthy insanity to do it, because, you know, I started my career playing clubs. I was 16 years old, couldn't go in the front door, but could go in the back door. And she would go, kids, wait in the car, because there was me, 2 dancers, and my 21-year-old sister doing sound and lights. Hi, Karen. And she would go, wait in the car. If I'm not back in 20 minutes, come and get me. Because she never let me go on a club stage, or any stage for that matter, without getting the money up front.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, and she was like 40, you know, like, and she had four daughters, and she was juggling, you know, marriage and kids and her, you know, career before she was managing me. And anyway, it's such a fascinating story. Her story is more fascinating than my story, in my opinion.
And wow. I was going to say, like, we have to talk, like, first of all, think about this. Your mom did everything that she did for you without the internet. There was no Google to say, what do I do with my daughter's career? How do I market? Or she just figured it out. That's old school ingenuity. I love it.
Exactly. There was no map. There was no map. And I still tell, you know, young talent today, like, because I love to mentor young talent. And people are always looking for that map. There she is. Aww. They're looking for that map. And I'm like, everyone's got their own path to forge. And it's really kind of like a breadcrumb trail. And you just have to trust your gut. And she did. And she learned what she had to learn in a very street smart kind of way.
Well, I mean, speaking of street smart, she had to do something crazy to get you noticed. Like, do you remember anything? What got you noticed? What did she do?
Oh my God, I'm gonna tell you the funniest story that I've like not thought about since then, and this did not end up working. But like, I remember she took me to Westbury Music Fair to see Bob Hope, and she goes, bring him flowers and stick a demo in the flowers. So Bob Hope did not sign USO tours, but I full on ran down the aisle at Westbury Music Fair with flowers with a demo tape.
That's amazing.
Because my mom, you know, and listen, it's like she wasn't like the stage mom in the bad sense of the word, but there is a little stage mother, I think, in every mother. Like every soccer mom, in a way, is a stage mom. You know, like everybody wants their kid to succeed. So we had a lot of fun doing crazy things. But really, it was about Atlantic Records taking a chance on me and us getting me into the clubs. I would play a straight club, a teen club, and a gay club every night. Like I would play from like 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Hustle.
Wow.
3 or 4 nights a week.
I love it.
Yeah. We were hustling.
Yes. Well, girl, let's talk about when family and business don't work. Because after 13 years, Britney Spears has finally broken free of her father's conservatorship. What are your thoughts on this news, and to get people to further understand as we're all learning about what went into this in real time?
I mean, you know, look, I wasn't there. I met Britney a few times. She was always super lovely and professional. And I love that people have been rooting for her this whole time. They always say America loves a great comeback. And this is like the comeback story of all time. But, you know, you said the key thing. It doesn't always work. I think when you get involved with family and business, you have to know that there are these risks. And at some point, unless you're going to be in business forever, look, my mom and I are the best of friends now, but we went through a divorce of sorts. It's very tricky. There are a lot of dynamics. And I know that you guys were commenting earlier, you know, like on her Instagram posts and stuff like that. I say if she's dancing in a midriff top or whatever got her through the day, it got her through the day. And let's hope that now she does get the counseling she needs, because she's been a prisoner for 13 years. You know, I mean, I have a therapist on speed dial anyway, because teen stardom is trippy. Yeah, I mean, life is trippy, right? But like when your little teenage brain is not wired to understand business. And so, you know, and finances and all of that. And I feel like every teen artist should have someone who puts a big sum of money that they don't even know they have aside for them for when they're old enough to comprehend, because there are people leeching and spending for you, and you're trusting. And so, you know, there are a lot of pitfalls. I'm very lucky. I turned out okay, but it's not without a lot of twists and turns and diligence. And like I said, I can only hope that Britney's future is now bright. I think everyone's been just hoping that for her, and I'm so thrilled for her.
A little insight from Debbie Gibson.
I
love it. Quickly, before we go, let's talk about my favorite time of year, Debbie. Christmas. I noticed your tree's up. You just released the single Christmas Star. Now tell us where you got the inspiration. Where did this come from?
You know, it's been kind of a message I've been talking about all year with my original music, and that is, don't just sit around wishing and hoping for great things to happen. Like, be that change you want to see and be that change you want to be. And that's really what it's about. And that line about forgiving the past and just move on. There's so many things polarizing people these days. I think it's time for no judgment, kindness, forgiveness. Holidays are a fresh start, in my opinion, and that's really the feeling of the song. It's a very optimistic song.
Oh, we all need it. We really do.
Absolutely.
Debbie's new single, Christmas Star, is streaming right now. Also, you guys have to check out her album, The Body Remembers. Debbie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Girl.
Thank you. And before we go to break, here's a first listen to Debbie's new holiday hit, Christmas Star.
Little boy blue, let's turn it around. Live life like you're in a Hallmark town. It's Christmas. It's Christmas.
Lithium batteries are what power most of our modern gadgets. You can find them in things like your smartphone, laptop, or even some power tools. So what makes these batteries so dangerous? When you throw them away, they get bumped around as they move through the dump. If a rechargeable battery gets damaged, that stored up energy inside can spark, causing a fire or even an explosion. Experts say those can be especially hard to put out because of gases released by the battery. battery. So if you get an upgrade this holiday season, what do you do with your old devices? Officials are asking you to take the batteries out before you toss. As for the batteries themselves, you can take them to your local city-run recycling centers or drop them off at one of the many stores like Best Buy and Home Depot that offer electronic recycling programs.
Plastic from the pandemic is adding to an already out-of-control problem. Let's connect the dots. A new report in the scientific journal PNAS says 25,000 tons of pandemic-related plastic waste have ended up in our ocean. That's a big problem for our wildlife as well as humans. The study found over 70% of that pandemic plastic eventually washed up on our beaches. So where's all this plastic coming from? Researchers say this goes far beyond your disposable face masks and shipping trash. Hospitals are by far the largest contributors due to the massive amounts of PPE they need to use every single day. And experts say a little more recycling isn't going to cut it. They say we need a new solution for how our healthcare facilities get rid of their waste, because the need for masks, gowns, and gloves isn't going away. And that is connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Dancing with the Stars judge Carrie Ann Inaba joins us live. She's dishing on Madonna's top rules for her dancers. And on an all-new True Crime Chronicles, a Texas man vanishes without a trace. What happened to Eotis Harris III?
This is the first news conference I've done. I have done nothing in my own city. They turned me down.
That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. So last year, shoppers spent $9 million on Black Friday, and scammers are banking on this. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. One of the Black Friday scams we want you to be aware of is a refund scam. Scammers are sending out text messages and emails saying you're eligible for a refund on a product you never actually purchased. So the purpose behind this is to get you to share your credit card information. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-419-0131 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
How maddening is it to be bumped from a flight? What can you do? A TikTok user shared air travel information to more than 800,000 people. The claim was someone bumped from a flight could get more than $1,500. With Verify, we dig into these viral claims to let you know what's true or not. So, can you get paid cash if the airline bumps your flight? A bumped flight is when you're denied boarding. It happens when the airline oversells seats. This is not incidents like weather delays. We used information from the Department of Transportation and spoke with Daniel Armbruster, spokesperson for AAA Texas.
It's a rare practice. Less than 1% of passengers are impacted, but occasionally airlines do have to bump passengers because a flight is oversold. And that's the key component here. Was your flight oversold? So, weather can't impact it.
The Department of Transportation's website shows airlines must ask for volunteers in exchange for compensation. You can negotiate it.
They may ask you if you want some vouchers, things of that nature. If you do accept those things, vouchers or any other additional items from the airline other than a cash refund, make sure you understand if there's any restrictions, any blackout dates.
When you don't volunteer and you still get bumped, the DOT website shows an airline is required to compensate you after involuntarily bumping you from an oversold flight in certain situations. However, there are many situations where you are not entitled to compensation. It lists things like charter, small aircraft, and some international flights. Plus, in order to get paid, you must have a confirmed reservation, checked in and arrived at the departure gate on time, and the airline cannot get you to your destination within 1 hour of your flight's original arrival time. The money you get depends on that arrival time. Less than an hour, no money. 1 to 2 hours delayed, it's double the one-way fare up to $775. More than 2 hours later, 400% of one-way fare, up to $1,550. So yes, airlines are required to pay you for bumped flights if the arrival time is delayed by more than 1 hour. If you see something questionable online, let me know. With your Verify, I'm Erica Proffer.
Are we in for a baby boom of 2022? All signs point to yes. Let's connect the dots. Analysts at Bank of America say there's one telltale sign to expect more babies next year. Pregnancy test sales are way up. They say sales have grown by an average of 13% year over year since 2020. And more babies are already being born. Researchers say births increased by 3% in June of this year. That may not sound like a lot, but it's the highest level of growth we've seen since 2013. Analysts now predicting that this is the start of the millennial baby boom. Members of that generation getting older and gaining more financial security. And for many, that means it's time to start a family. On top of that, many parents-to-be delayed having a baby due to the pandemic. With COVID cases dropping and vaccines widely available, they're finally ready to welcome those bundles of joy. And that is connecting the dots.
Minute of DBL.
You agree with this, or you are going to lose your job.
That's a slap in the face.
You're messing with people's lives here.
None of that matters.
Yes, it does.
Hey, verse it. Okay. $200.
Things can get heated.
That was dramatic.
But it's all good.
Big Jeff got out of the cage a little bit.
Big T-Bone did too. We're good.
Because we're family.
Boom.
Al, thanks for getting my back in there, buddy.
Thanks, Al.
DBL is always all new every day.
I'm loving these promos.
I know.
I really do.
We can go at it.
Yeah.
But then we can kiss and make up.
Yeah.
I don't know about kissing. But okay. Okay, but somebody who really is looking for all the love. Melissa says, Debbie Gibson.
I know.
I grew up on her songs. It's still on my music rotation. I'm dying right now. Between the Lines pulls on my heartstrings so much. And Carol says, love Debbie and her Christmas decor. She seems so real and
She
so
really
cool.
does seem so real.
Any comments about me?
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, everybody. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great Monday, everybody.